Lots of love, love. Got 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 lots of love, love.
downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to CGL, where 16 teams have entered, but now we are down to our final two here in the NAPC Open tier. My name is Dextron. I am joined by the lovely Tryhard Ray. Man, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I have been eagerly awaiting the conclusion of the NAPC Open tier. It's been our most competitive division. We started with 40 plus teams. We're down to the top two. So let's take you to that bracket and see how we've come along the journey. We have Bonzi Buddies going against YSL, and they have played each other 2 times in the season. Neither were during the regular season. One was during the mid-season tournament where YSL got the victory. And as you can see on screen, Bonzi Buddies got their revenge in the winners finals. So both teams have a lot on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you just look at how this bracket has kind of gone here for the Bonzi Buddies. Sweeps in their first 2 games and then 5 map series in the last 2 to get to this point here. YSL, they dropped down, but immediately got a sweep to put themselves back here. So like you already mentioned, Bonzi Buddies got that revenge for the mid-season tournament there in the winners finals. YSL now looking for some revenge of their own.
As this is going to be an amazing game between these 2 exciting teams. We've actually had an opportunity. Some people have been posting some preds on the website, so we can go ahead and take a look at what people are thinking. Keep in mind, Bonzi Buddies are the logo with the monkey with the glasses. So a lot of people are favoring YSL, 62.5%. I mean, I feel like this is an either way series. I have a 4-3 for YSL. So I think this is definitely going the distance and either team can pull it off in the end.
I have a 4-3 as well, but I will not mention what team I decide to go with here, so I don't cast or curse them. But hey, we've been talking about the teams here a little bit. Why don't we introduce you to them, starting with the winter finals champions, the Bonzi Buddies.
Both of these teams are loaded with tier 2 talent. Bonzi Buddies, they got Suguru, Zomba, Zebra, Otters, and Kai. So lots of talent that play in collegiate and open division and contenders. A lot of great players.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, they got that revenge game there in the winners final, like I kind of mentioned, and now they're looking to carry that momentum here, but they've been off for a little bit here. And I just want to see how they kind of respond here in this first game or first map. But while we talked about Bonzi Buddies, why don't we introduce you to their opponents for the night in YSL?
Yeah, as we have Azraf Wallflower, Infected, Magic Mateball, and Z. I'm sure a lot of you guys recognize all these names on both teams. Magic Mateball coming off a Team Canada run in the World Cup, and there's so many names across both these matchups. This is why I've been just eagerly awaiting casting this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And YSL is one of those teams that is actually stacked and has a full roster as well. A lot of subs. So we could see a lot of people come in and out throughout the night, depending on what map we are playing and just how everyone is kind of doing there. So I kind of expect to see a lot of subs from them here tonight. But Ray, I mean, hey, these 2 teams have made it all the way this far. 4 maps is all they need to do to crown themselves champions. And we know where we're heading for our first one.
Yeah, I believe because they were waiting in the grand finals, this was the pick of the Bonzi Buddies, and we are headed to Ilios, so expect a lot of dive action coming out from both of these teams, as that's the composition that Bonzi Buddies feel most confident in going up against YSL.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I recognize Zebra and Suguru from the Bonzi Buddies. I know Zebra is a menace on the Doomfist, and right now, Doomfist comps might be some of the scariest comps to go into if you struggle to get rid of the Doomfist.
Yeah, it's going to be just hyper-focused, high-impact, high-speed gameplay, and I'm excited to get this started. Infected will be playing the tank for the side of YSL. He is known for being an extremely talented tier 2 tank, loves to play that Winston, and can play the Doomfist very well as well, but he is definitely better known for the Winston. So I'm excited to possibly see the Winston going up against the Doomfist.
Yeah, absolutely. And you had a chance to actually cast YSL in the losers finals. I mean, they swept, I believe it was Yikes there, and they really didn't look like they were having a problem with them at all there. Do you think they're going to be able to carry that momentum from that sweep there into the grand finals here?
I definitely think it's possible. We did see that Bonzi Buddies, went a full 5 maps against them in the winners semifinals. And I do think YSL, after losing to Bonzi Buddies in the winners finals, they kind of, were a little upset and wanted to just get things back on track and come get their revenge. So that's the one thing I'd be a little, cautionary if I was Bonzi Buddies, is YSL is motivated and ready to take their revenge.
Yeah, but YSL looking for that revenge. Bonzi Buddies, though, they got here through the winners finals. They might have all the momentum in the world, maybe a chip on their shoulder as well. What do you think they need to do really to keep that momentum up to start the series?
I think the one thing, their roster has been very consistent. They don't have a bunch of subs and a bunch of players on their team. It has been this solid 5. I think they have 1 sub on their team. So it has mostly been this 5 working together. I think the chemistry between these 5 working together throughout the entire season, being on the same page, is going to be the key to their success, especially on a map like Ilias, where dive is just reliant on everyone diving the same targets at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was something that we kind of brought up when we were showing off the teams. YSL, I think, has a whole nother team on the bench. And like you said, Bonzi Buddies really only has 1. So if we see YSL making a lot of subs here through the night, it might take them a team fight or two to, get all in sync. While Bonzi Buddies will already be there, in my opinion. So it's going to be a really interesting thing to see throughout the night if YSL makes those subs when they need to, and if it's a per map basis.
Yeah, it's going to depend a lot. I mean, I think the thing is, as I mentioned, the chemistry and just all these players playing together for Bonzi Buddies gives them a big advantage when it comes to, when things hit against the wall, that they're used to playing together that much. For YSL, I think their talent is what carries them a lot of the time. Their support line with Z and Magic Mateball is incredibly talented. Their roster is stacked with contenders' talent, but can the talent bring them far enough, or will the chemistry of Bonzi Buddies bring them the championship?
Absolutely, but it looks like we are starting to load into the map here. Looks like we're going to be starting here on Lighthouse. Now, Lighthouse, in my opinion, yeah, you talked about it being a very heavily dived map, but if you can bunker down on the point, and if you have a good team composition and just trust in your team, sometimes it's very hard to get that team off.
We're going to have to see what these teams are electing to go with. As you mentioned, Zebra does like that Doomfist. We'll have to see if they are electing to go with that. And we are starting out on that. And as it sits, YSL is looking to bunker down just a little bit. They are looking to play that Orisa. And I kind of like the Orisa in the matchup with that Doomfist. You have those javelins that can affect, every time you try and go in for a dive if you're Zebra. And you can cause, not to be CC'd around a whole bunch, because you have that Fortify that won't allow you to get punched around like that. So I think it's if you're not going to match the Doom, I think this is the great opposite way to go about it.
Yeah, and I agree with you there, but I watched over the losers finals as well, and Infected only played Orisa 1 time on Blizzard World, and it was mostly a desperation pick. We never saw it again from them here, so like you said, it's probably a really good pick into this Doomfist, but they need to apply a lot of pressure onto it as well.
Couldn't agree more. Oh, off
the
back Mateball with the whip shot.
That is not how you want to start off a match right here. Magic Mateball, though, getting a lot of good plays there. Wildflower will be able to find Suguru. And right now, I mean, Infected just kind of chilling out on point, as YSL will cap it first.
Yeah, as YSL do not want to give Bonzi Buddies any time to breathe. They are getting aggressive, but they have regrouped. You're going to have to back up and get back with your team if you're YSL.
Yeah, but again, you kind of have, if you're Bonzi Buddies, you need to find some way to get into that one there. Yeah, you have Zebra right there that will be able to get into that back line as well. But again, you have characters like Tracer and Soldier there for YSL that can kind of deal with the Doomfist without having to get without having to rely on your Orisa.
Yeah, as we see a little Tracer duel coming out from Wallflower. Already has the Pulse Bomb on target, so Bonzi Buddies got to be very careful, but he's down.
and so is Magic 8-Ball. This is exactly what the Bonzi Buddies needed to retake this point. Azruf will find Zomba right there, and now Infected might try to stall at this point a little bit, but not going to be able to get back in time, and Zebra, though, will eventually be able to take him there as Bonzi Buddies gets the flip.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for a Bonzi Buddy. Sugu, between your Doomfist and your Tracer, being able to buy him space to look for those rail shots, and he's able to come through. As YSL's going to have a slight ult advantage coming to this next fight, given how dominant their first couple fights went. So Bonzi Buddies might want to get aggressive with some of these ults.
I agree with you there, but Zomba finding Wallflower out early is huge for them. Zebra doing enough there to stun 2 people, but not going to be able to find the kills there. And now Bonzi Buddies kind of can just play a little bit more conservatively right now. YSL not really going to engage without the Tracer, but Infected finds one with the spin. The meteor strike comes out there from Zebra, will not find one there, but Suguru does find Azruf with the disrupting shot, and now a player trade out each way. Magic Maypole, though, will make sure they have the advantage here at the moment. The Consumer Rush coming out here from Otters, a nice javelin there by Infected, and the Consumer Rush also coming out from Z. Infected will find Kai there, and YSL gonna be able to flip the point.
Yeah, you basically trade 3 ultimates for 2 if you're YSL, so I guess you will take that. You're going to have to be extremely careful when you're walking into double DPS ultimates plus a sound barrier. This fight is just in pure pick form for Bonzi to just take it off and flip this point.
Pulse Bomb coming out will stick to a tree and not find any kills there, but you do see Zebra focus in there on Magic 8-Ball. Azra pops the overclock, will find Kai, trade out each way now. Suguru gonna be able to find 1, make it 2 there with the overclock on the Wallflower, and Bonzi Buddy looking like they're gonna be able to retake this point right now. Suguru with 3 in this fight alone. Zebra will take the last one.
Sugu is coming through big time for Bonzi Buddies on this Sojourn. And the big thing is you're able to keep this sound barrier, Kai, because Infected's going to have this Terror Surge, but you can just completely negate it with the sound barrier. So pretty much you're in an even stale fight. It's going to be about trying to find these aggressive picks. Now I'm looking at these Sojourns, Sugu versus Azra, trying to find the rail shots.
Beat coming out very early from Bonzi. They want to try to play very aggressively into this lineup right now. Infected, though, might just have a free Terror Surge at the moment if they play it aggressively. But you just see Zebra there harassing the entirety of YSL. Terror Surge coming out here from Infected. Will not find anyone there, so they're able to play around corners. Otters very low at the moment, able to get themselves out of danger just for the moment. However, they're going to be able to keep themselves alive. Bonzi Buddy's doing a good job here of just lasting through this fight. Sugu going to be able to find Azra up there. Zebra still just harassing Magic Maypole right there, and now focusing a little bit just on the support line as Infected heads the point.
Yeah, as these support ultimates are getting so close for YSL, they can build up to them. They might have an opportunity to flip this point, but Infected's getting so low on the point.
Rally and Kitsune Rush coming out here from both sides. Wallflower still does have a pulse bomb right here, looking to maybe get the stick there onto Sugu, but they're going to hold onto it here for a moment. YSL needs to find an early picker. They find Sugu. That's the exact pick they really need to get there. Kai, though, finding Azra, but the point flips.
Yeah, you got to find more picks if you're YSL. If you can continue these staggers, you're going to be in a really good position with 81% on the clock. Can they find the picks they need?
Beat coming out here from Kai. They want to try to play aggressively into this one here. You saw Zebra immediately dive in right after. They're going to be able to find Magic Maypole there. That's a huge pick off for Bonzi. That gets rid of a lot of the healing there for YSL. Wallflower gets taken out by the overclock. Suguru just popping off right now. Make it 2 for the Soldier. Can they find a third? They will be able to find a third. Point does flip back over in their control. Will YSL be able to get back? I don't think they will be able to. Magic Maypole 1 millisecond too late.
Yeah, unfortunately for Wallflower, unable to find a pulse bomb in that final fight. Suguru coming through time and time again on that Sojourn when their team needed it the most. Incredible plays coming out from Bonzi Buddies, all things considered. I've been very impressed with these DPS from Bonzi Buddies. Zomba's done a great job in taking that Tracer duel with Wallflower, and Sugu's just had the pop-off moments as we now move in to Ruins, which I think is going to be a lot more conducive to this Sigma composition that we see YSL highlighting. So the big thing for Zebra is you're going to have to be very careful. You have to take these dives wisely because that accretion rock can just be so deadly if you allow Infected to get that off on you.
Yeah, absolutely, but I don't really think the Orisa pick worked for them really well there on Lighthouse. Zebra was still just able to just move around freely into that backline. That was the biggest problem there for YSL. And I do agree with you. I think the Sigma pick is a little bit better for YSL here if they want to try to shut down Zebra.
As we see Infected trying to find the damage and the picks needed to try and make something happen. Magic Maypole just doing a little bit of spy checking onto Zomba.
One member of Bonzi is holding on to point right now. I believe it is Zomba just trying to contest it while they wait for their team to come back in fully healed up. Not going to be able to. YSL will take point first. Still, no one has fallen yet. Still looking for the first pick of this one. Wallflower, though, is definitely trying to focus in on Zomba Infected. Just trying to throw those rocks at anyone they can, but still, no one found out yet. But a nice team play there. We'll find Infected going to the spawn first here. And look at what that does to YSL. They're all trying to get back, but the kills are just all going Bonzi's way.
As that was a big boop coming out from Kai, but as you say that two have come at the flip for YSL, they might be able to turn this around if they just stay patient and regroup as a team.
Yeah, they get the flip there, but again, YSL going to have that advantage with their tank and one support coming back a little bit faster than Bonzi's two fallen members right now. And Zomba, again, just kind of on contest duty right now. Very low on health. Wallflower doing a good job trying to contest them. Zebra diving in. We'll be able to get themselves out of this one. Pulse Bomb coming out. Does not stick on anyone there, but does damage Wallflower a decent amount now. Wallflower has a Pulse Bomb of their own, but just look at that kill feed. It's all going YSL's way.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of Azra finding those exiting picks, allowing YSL to get back that much easier. You don't even have to commit any ultimates into that fight, and Zomba used that pulse bomb. So the ultimate economy now shifts in the favor of YSL, as now they're with this Sigma composition, being able to take these aggressive defensive positions is going to be that much better, trying to go up against this aggressive dive that Zebra's trying to play on this Doomfist.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you mentioned YSL has all these ultimates and they have to use any of that last fight. But Sugu finding Azrov out early. Otter's going to use the Kitsune Rush to get themselves in. And a nice play there by Zebra trying to get the Infected off that high ground. In Ant Major's coming out there from Z-Man. The Flux coming out there from Infected, but they got punched out of it. A huge play there by Zebra. Pulse coming out here from Bonzi as they realize this is a very important fight. Since a lot of ultimates, basically all the ultimates that Bonzi had, invest in this one. Z will eventually fall there. Zebra taking them to the grave, but still, Bonzi Buddy is still not able to flip the point.
Yeah, they lack the damage to finish off these kills, but they will get infected. Extremely only goes down.
They get infected, but at what cost? They lose two members, and Zebra make it three with Zomba falling. Kai, not good either. They're going to be able to get out here. Otters, though, going to be able to find Magic Maypole, but still the support's being harassed here by Wallflower.
Yeah, it seems Wallflower said, I had enough. I know I died with Pulse Bomb on that last map, but I'm going to carry my team to victory, as he's barely going to escape with his life.
Yeah, and this could be final fight territory right here if you're Bonzi, but looks like YSL gonna let them get up to about halfway on that cap before they recontest on it. And now they're doing a good job focusing a little bit on Zebra here, but again, Zomba has his pulse bomb ready to go here, looking to get the stick onto someone. Is it gonna be infected? They recall there to keep themselves alive. Still focusing a lot on Wallflower, but Suguru coming in clutch again, finds Wallflower there, and now they flip the point in their control. YSL again trying to back out before losing any more members.
Who else but Sugu to come through big time for Bonsai Buddies? The Pulse Bomb finds nothing, but Sugu's able to clean up the kills.
Yeah, absolutely. Sugu, when they needed something to go their way, Sugu has normally been the one to find that kill, and now they're cleaning it up. Zebra will take care of Wallflower there. And just look at the ultimates right now. Pretty even across the board, but YSL, in my opinion, will have a little bit of an advantage coming back into the next fight.
Yeah, they're just playing patient. I mean, Bonsai Buddy's going to have to win 2 clean fights in a row while YSL's playing it patiently, coming back into this fight with so many ultimates to commit into here, because they only need to win 1 team fight to bring this home. And Wallflower can really open things up with a big Pulse Bomb.
Kitsune Rush coming out here from Otters. Again, Bonzi wants to play a little bit aggressive. We saw this on the last point as well. And it is doing a good job forcing YSL back. They don't want to re-engage too far. The Flux coming out here from Infected. Meteor Strike coming out here from Zebra. Rally coming out from Magic Maypole. Sugu, though, finds the first pick again. Zebra will find Azruff there. And now Bonzi just trying to clean up this team fight without losing anyone.
They did draw out almost every single ultimate from Bonsai Buddies. You're going to have your 2 DPS ultimates coming into this next fight, while YSL will have the same thing, but they're going to have the ability to throw in this Ant Matrix from Z. This is where things are going to get a little rough.
Pulse Bomb stuck there on Azruff, though. A huge pick early, and no one for YSL able to get the point. Bonzi Buddies will take Helios into.
Oh man, not a C9 to start things off. Not very good for YSL. Is Bonsai Buddies taking a huge statement in this first map. Be like, listen, we beat you in winners finals. We're the better team, and we're going to start things off right. I mean, both maps extremely close, but when clutch time came, when the rubber needed to meet the road, in came Bonsai Buddies, in came Sugu with big time picks, and big reason why they're up 1-0 in this series.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like if Sugu does not get those picks, especially on Ruins there, we are heading into well. And I think just based off how we saw those two teams play in that map, I feel like YSL would have a little bit of the advantage going in there. Yeah, the dive looked very good for Bonzi buddies, but on that second point, it seemed like with YSL going over to that Sigma comp, they were able to slow it down a little bit and kind of stop Zebra from doing whatever they wanted.
Yeah, I agree. The Sigma composition was definitely helpful. I think it was a well first picked map for Bonzi buddies, given the composition they like to play with this Doomfist. I think that's going to be a big key going forward in the series, are what maps these teams elect to take us to. We have that second map pick coming in from YSL, and they have chosen to take us to Blizzard World.
And an interesting choice here. We saw them play Blizzard World. You saw them play Blizzard World in the losers finals, but that wasn't their map choice. They're bringing us here for a reason. I would not be surprised if it's because of their performance on Blizzard World in the losers final.
Yeah, I mean, the Blizzard World was actually an extremely close map. I believe they capped in overtime, and then the other team had the most egregious C9 that I've ever seen. And it was an insane match, but very excited to see. It was a very good map for YSL, so it's no surprise they want to take us here. Expect more of this Sigma composition that we saw on Ruins out of YSL. The question is, what are Bonzi buddies going to look to do? Do they want to continue to play this Doomfist? I mean, Blizzard World not normally known for being a Doomfist style map. If you are going to play a dive variant, this is where you normally pull out that Diva or the Winston if you're going that direction.
Yeah, that's going to be a really interesting thing to see throughout this entire series, because I feel like YSL, if they're picking the map, they're going to try to go away from any map that Doomfist can find a lot of value on. But at the same time, I feel like Zebra might be one of those tanks that says, I'm going to force a Doomfist here for 1 or 2 lives and figure out if I can make it work here, and then maybe swap over to a Sigma, or like you said, those other dive tanks like the Diva, like the Winston. But I still think I truly expect to see them stick with the Doomfist.
Only time will tell, as we will be getting as loaded up into the lobby right now. 1-0 Bonzi buddies start and jump out to an early lead. Can YSL counterpunch in the series and bring us to a 1-1 series, or will the Bonzi buddies continue the momentum they've built up and continue? I mean, keep in mind, this is a 1-4. We're grand finals, so this is just getting to heat up. We're like simmering on low heat right now. We haven't turned up yet.
Yeah, YSL, I mean, they're probably not happy with the performance on the first map there, but even if they lose this map here, their backs aren't against the wall, but I want to see a little bit of improvement out of them. We saw a little bit of improvement in going from Lighthouse to Ruins. I feel like them picking this map, and what I watched from the losers finals, they did very good on this map. Yeah, it was very close, but it consistently, YSL, in my opinion, was very good here on Blizzard World.
I always say when we're in these series that are 1-3 that it is almost imminent for teams to not go down 0-2, but in a 1-4 series, it's not as bad. You have a lot more time and a lot more maps to make something happen, but I still think it's going to be for the confidence of YSL to tie the series up, it's going to be a big deal. As Bonzi buddies, they're going to continue to play this Doomfist composition. Interestingly enough, they're going to have Otters on the Lifeweaver and Kai go over to this Mercy.
You know, I don't hate the picks. I actually really like him, because if Zebra goes a little bit too far, Otters can kind of save him there, pull him back to the safety of their team, and the healing that the Lifeweaver can do from a great distance is just great for them right now. And Zebra now has the opportunity here in the backline to try to do a lot, disrupt them a lot, allow their DPS in there to find some damage, find some kills.
Yeah, the Mercy just seems a little perplexing. I guess you're pocketing Sugu and hoping to allow him to really pop off and find these rail shots even easier.
I mean, that might be the case, but considering how good Sugu did on Ilios, I think that's a good pick here. But Wallflower going to be able to find Zamba out early, and let's see what happens here, especially with Kai now falling. I feel like now Bonzi might, in the spawn, make some changes here, because it seems like Sugu also dying here. I don't think that was... I think that was by choice there.
I mean, will they, though? They're coming up on the Tree of Life and Valk. They might just be like, hey, we're coming up on 5 ultimates into this fight. We might be able to use all 5 of them to net us this point, because they've been playing extremely aggressive, and because of that, they've netted a lot of ult charge, as this is going to be a crazy ult fest coming in this next fight. It's really going to come down to aggression, who just sets themselves up to get aggressive with these ults.
Honestly, I'm watching out for Wallflower. I mean, the Pulse Bomb onto either of the two supports, there's nothing that can save him, but Sugu starts it off with finding Azruff there. Zebra will find Z-Man, and it's all starting to go downhill now for YSL. Pulse Bomb coming out there from Zamba won't be needed, as Zebra just cleaning up this fight. Sugu taking care of Wallflower, and Zamba taking care of Infected. And an ultimate heavy fight that we thought we'd kind of see there. I mean, yeah, 4 ultimates were used, but I don't feel like that was as many as we thought.
Yeah, I mean, when Sugu gets 3 with the overclock, YSL's not going to commit any more than they have to. And Bonzi is like, look, we already won the fight with just these 2 ultimates. No reason to use any more. So it's just the power of Sugu. There's not much more we could say. Just continuing to find these real shots time and time again, as YSL is they're trying to force their way up, but Bonzi buddies are being aggressive. They want to get themselves past this corner because this is such a good defensive position for YSL to hold.
Val coming out here from Kai, gonna be responding here for the Ant Matrix from Z right now. Azro trying to get whatever damage they can through that Ant Matrix. Really no one falling yet. The rally now coming out from Magic 8-Ball to keep themselves alive for the most part here. And still no one necessarily falling yet in this fight, but I feel like Bonzi buddies may have forgot about something.
As this is so strange, the sides have basically swapped. YSL looks like the attacking team as Bonzi buddies are trying to find their way in.
And you have to consider YSL has used 2 ultimates already in this fight and really got nothing. And Sugu again starts off a fight with a huge kill there on to Z. There goes a lot of the healing. The Tree of Life coming out here from Otter. Same thing with the Meteor Strike. Zebra though will find Azruff. Otters will eventually find Infected there with some help from the rest of their friends. And Zamba cleaning up the fight there with Magic 8-Ball going back to the spawn.
Finally able to get this corner for Bonzi. I mean, you will take using, 2-3 ultimates in that series, as Wallflower is now going to make a swap over to this Genji, abandoning the Tracer, which I'm very curious to see how that's going to affect things. I mean, the dash does a great job of finishing off low-value targets. Maybe YSL feels like they're able to get so many of these targets low, but they're not able to finish the job, and the Genji's going to help them with that.
Overclock coming out here from Azruff. They immediately find Sugu to get stuff started. You're looking for more, but getting rid of Sugu, that's kind of been their Achilles heel this entire series so far. They find Otters just as a little cherry on top. Zamba gets the stick, but the immortality there field from Z, able to keep them alive.
I mean, Azra finally comes through on the Sojourn. The one thing they're going to have to be very worried about coming this next fight is Sugu has an overclock. If I'm infected, I am looking to use this Flux specifically on Sugu and limit the amount of value he gets out of this overclock, because he has just been insane every time he pops it.
Yeah, but you have to watch out for Otters pulling them out of it and being able to find a lot of value. But Sugu already finding Azruff, getting some revenge for when they pop their overclock. The Valkyrie coming out here from Kai. Sugu still looking for some damage here, some kills. The overclock coming out. They're being pressured out by Wallflower. The grasp coming out there from Otters to get them into a little more favorable position, but the ultimate comes and goes there. Really no kills, but hey, Bonzi buddies now continue to push this carp a little bit more. Flux coming out here from Infected. They will find Sugu off that one there. The damage is coming out from Z as well, forcing Bonzi buddies completely back.
As they got to get this pick onto Zebra. They cannot allow him to get out, as Zomba is putting a lot of pressure onto that point, so they can't afford to chase these kills because they risk letting a C9 happen. For Bonzi buddies, I think this Tree of Life is going to be an extremely important ultimate coming to this next fight, going to allow them to really brawl things out and play a little bit more close quarters than what they normally could. But Wallflower is going to have this blade.
Zamba tries to get the pulse bomb stick there on to Z-Man, but Z-Man notices that, takes Zamba out of the fight instead. And you talked about the blade coming out here from Wallflower. I think Otters holds on to the tree until that blade pops out.
I think it could be just a game of chicken, who's going to pop which ult first, but it's not going to matter right now because Zebra's been sent back to the spawn doors.
Same thing with Sugu, and if your Bonzi buddies here, you are resetting. Less than 30 seconds left to go. You're running out of time.
Yeah, as the ult advantage is going to be slightly in the favor of YSL. The rally, you should be able to build up to this overclock for Azruff in the middle of this fight, and I think that will probably ultimately be the cherry on top, that win condition. YSL's looking to slam this door in Bonzi's face.
Don't have to worry about a railgun shot coming from Sugu now as they swap over to the Genji here. Each team kind of waiting for the other to pop an ultimate right now. Kai will be the first one here, popping the Valkyrie, just trying to make sure their team is supported throughout this fight. They're doing a good job pushing the car right now, but now YSL gets back to it. Still, each team, in my opinion, smartly holding on to ultimates right now. The tree comes out to keep Otters alive. Otters, though, will eventually be taken out there by the Blade from Wallflower, but I think they did a good enough job making sure the Blade will find no one else infected. Will find Sugu. Magic Maypole finds Zomba, and YSL looking to end this round here and now, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
We talked about the possible game of chicken as they just said, no, I'm going to pop Zomba. I'm just going to pop this blade. I don't care about your tree. I'm just going to slice and dice and kill you through it. And in the meantime, because you're trapped in this room, you can't heal your team. So, I mean, overall, very well played. And then the rest of their team is able to clean up the kills. This is a really nice win condition spot for this map to be in for YSL, trying to tie the series back up. Not allowing to cap them that second point is got to be feeling really good if you're YSL.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, YSL, I felt like they dealt with the Doomfist of Zebra there pretty well throughout that entire map there. I mean, we saw them get a couple picks here and there, but they were off of or just domino affecting picks when Sugu or Zomba would find an early pick, and then Zebra be right there to kind of clean up one. I really feel like they are figuring out how to slow down Zebra, especially because once you slow down Zebra, I mean, Sugu and Zomba cannot do everything for their team. The Doomfist needs to be able to make some noise.
Yeah, pardon me, I meant Wallflower on that Genji with the blade, not Zomba. My apologies. As we now move to this attack coming out from YSL, trying to tie up the series. These teams have decided, all right, we get it. The Genji was pretty good. We're going to match you now, Suguru, which is interesting because Suguru was the one who was opening things up on the Sojourn. Now Zomba is going to be playing that. And now they bring the Ana into play for Otters, which I think is going to be really good if you can find big anti-nates, because it's only going to further help this dive that Zebra and Bonzi buddies are playing.
But what do you think about Kai still coming out here on the Mercy? Yeah, they were able to do a lot last map or last round as well, but the anti-nade misses everyone because Zebra, I think, punches 3 people out of it there. That's not how they wanted to start.
Yeah, and that's going to buy a lot of space for YSL to push up. So you got to be very careful if your Bonzi buddies. YSL are exactly where they want to be, but that is not where Wallflower wants to be.
It doesn't matter who's playing the soldier in here for Bonzi buddies. They will always open up a fight. Zomba doing it here. They might do it again onto Infect, and that's exactly what happens there. YSL, though, Azra will be able to find Zomba there, the res coming out to make sure they get right back in this fight. So that, you know, that kill was only there for a moment. Now it's just Bonzi cleaning up this team fight.
Yeah, you just got to reset if you're YSL. You're going to be able to come into this fight. Z has the Ant Matrix to be able to throw into this fight. So I don't know if Bonzi realizes that ult is coming. Because basically what you can do if you're YSL is push up to that corner and force YSL back with that Ant Matrix. You might be able to buy yourself a tick or two, or maybe even find a kill with it.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're Bonzi, Kai, I don't think the Valkyrie will be able to get you through it. You're going to need to play around corners, respect the Amp Matrix here, and YSL, I would expect them to use it early here. The nade comes in, only hits Wallflower there. You do see the Immortality Field come out there from Z to keep everyone supported, but again, YSL just gonna get into the small room right now.
As they're going to push this high ground, as Suguru is getting extremely close to this blade, and you're in close quarters. If you're YSL, you got to be careful.
Zebra has to use the Meteor Strike to get out. Zomba does use the Overclock. Not going to be able to find anyone there. Infected, though, with a huge opening pick onto Zomba. Now, the Nano coming out here onto Suguru. The Blade, it already finds one. Zebra finds the second one in that backline. Suguru, though, slicing and dicing their way through YSL. 3, make it 4 for the Genji.
That's the power of the Nano Blade, especially when you get Z down early. No Immortality Field to help the team up. Good patience from YSL. They didn't use a single ultimate in that fight. And because they got a good defensive hold on the Bonzi buddies, they just got to make sure they cap this point and they put themselves in a position to win this map. So you can afford to throw most of your ultimates into this fight, as Bonzi has nothing to work with.
Yeah, they used everything last fight just to win it. But an early pickoff from here would be huge. The lag coming out here from Magic Maple. In fact, they're going to find Suguru there to get everything started again for about the second fight in a row. Infected finds one. Wallflower, though, will make sure that Kai does not get that res off. And if you're Bonzi, you might recontest here, but I don't think that's the right play.
I don't think it is. You're just going to be feeding ult charge. I feel like that's a huge win for YSL to be able to win that point and only commit the rally. Now you're going to be able to snowball a lot of distance on this point because Bonzi Buddies still don't have anything to work with.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw what YSL did on this close hold on their defense around here. Bonzi Buddies will not be able to do the exact same thing here with Zebra falling really early. And again, I don't think really any ultimates need to be invested here by YSL. Zomba, though, Azraf always seems to be just getting caught off by railgun shots.
Yeah, they're going to get Suguru as the blade came out. Zomba able to find the pick on a wallflower, but the distance and the height advantage gained for YSL has already been done.
I've said it once, I'll say it again. Whoever's playing the soldier and for Bonzi Buddies, it doesn't matter. They will find you out early in fights, and they do it again here. Zebra, though, trying to be very aggressive again, just focus in on Infected, and look at this. YSL used, they had 4 ultimates going into that last fight. Both Azraf and Wallflower used their ultimates and found no value with them here, so Bonzi doing a good job evening the scales here.
Yeah, as the Flux is now going to come out onto the high ground. Not going to find anything, however.
A little bit of an unfortunate play there from Infected, the meter strike and the Valkyrie coming out here from Bonzi. Zebra just using to get away from everyone here. The Nano, though, coming out on the Zebra. Ori able just to shoot down Z-Man. They find Azraf as well, and oh no, Infected in for a world of hurt here right now.
Yeah, as that's 3 ultimates committed into that fight. If you're Bonzi Buddies, you will have both of your DPS ultimates in this next fight. Again, I think they're in a position where they're going to have to win 2 fights to bring this point home. 2 minutes left on the clock. I think the support ultimates could be big. A lot of this next fight's going to rely on Z holding this immortality field for just the right time. Counter for Bonzi, if Otters could get a big anti-nade and force out that immortality field, they might be able to win this with just a single DPS ultimate.
Absolutely, and you're seeing that Otters is probably looking for their Zomba, though. Again, really aggressive, the overclock coming out here from them. They notice a lot. They already find Azraf, the anti-nade, hit their uninfected. The immortality field does come out there. They do find it right there, but eventually they'll have to slide themselves out of there to make sure they don't get pressured out here by Infected. But right now, Bonzi, almost only a minute left for them to defend here. They are doing a great job.
Yeah, now you're going to be facing down the barrel of a blade coming from Suguru. The good thing is there is no Nano to go onto it, but they found Wallflower.
Again, it just seems like it's at the most unfortunate times for YSL, but Sugu, Zomba always there to find an early pick. Magic Mayfall and Z-Man, or Z, still holding on to their ultimates right now. They need to use them early here. The clock is not their friend anymore.
That it is not as Zomba finds Wallflower again!
Walk around the corner and just get hit in the face with a railgun shot, yeah, I'd be going back to spawn too. Zomba just taking over right now, and less than 30 seconds, YSL again needs to wait for a teammate to come back.
As this is clutch time, we saw on Ilios when it came to this time, Bonzi has really showed up. Can YSL come through and tie this series 1-1?
Every ultimate is almost at each team disposals here. The Valkyrie coming out here from Kai. Zebra has to use a meteor strike to get themselves out of it. The rally now coming out from Magic Mayfall, but Sugu pops the blade. It's another nano blade slicing, already find 2, make it 3, and that will be all she wrote here on Blizzard World. Bonzi Buddies going up 2-0 in the series.
As it does not matter what hero Sugu is playing, he will find those picks in crunch time, as now they're up 2-0, taking a commanding lead, as YSL has got to find an answer. They've got to come up with a way to stop this Doomfist dive that Bonzi is playing.
At this point, I don't think it's about stopping the Doomfist dive. I think it's stopping both us, Sugu, and Zomba here. I mean, yeah, Zebra has done great on the Doomfist, but it doesn't matter who Sugu or Zomba are playing. They've been able to find picks early in team fights to give their team the advantage. I mean, we talked about it after YSL was able to cap the point there on Blizzard World. They had 4 ultimates at their disposal. They could have used them whenever, and maybe they were looking at only 1-2 team fights there if they used them smartly. But no, it was just, again, Zomba and Sugu finding early picks, making sure that YSL had to stop in their tracks for a little bit, wait for their teammate to come back so they can re-engage as a team. And because of that, happened multiple times in a row, Bonzi Buddies was able to eventually get the ultimate advantage.
I still think that's a product of Zebra on this Doomfist, causing so much chaos and so much look, I mean, we saw so many times Magic 8 is just looking in all these different directions, swinging, trying to find things. And this Doomfist dive is causing all that chaos, which is allowing Zomba and Sugu to sneak behind them, find a rail shot, find those picks. So you have to find a way as a team to relax, move onto a single target together, and start picking these players off one by one.
Absolutely. But hey, our third map of the night will be a Flashpoint map. And I mean, everyone kind of knew it was going to be Saravasa here.
Yeah, no surprises here. And this is where you need to turn it around if you're YSL. You cannot afford to go down 3-0. It is hard enough trying to reverse sweep in a best of 5 series, but a best of 7, that is just so much mental fortitude and strength you're going to have. So I think this is a pivotal must-win map for YSL.
Yeah, I feel like the pressure is starting to build on them now. Losing that first map there, I mean, it was close on that second point. Maybe YSL could argue that they should have won it, taken us to a winner take all well, but they didn't do it there. And I said, even after the first round there on Blizzard World, YSL seemed to finally figured out that Doomfist comp a little bit that Bonzi Buddies was running, but no, they really didn't. They got the first point, but it took them a little bit. And then they had a huge ultimate advantage, and they weren't really able to find a lot of value with those ultimates. So yeah, I feel like the pressure for YSL is almost at that limit now. You lose this map, your backs are against the wall. Yeah, you could reverse sweep, but like you said, Ray, it is hard.
We will be finding out shortly if YSL can make the subsequent adjustments to get themselves back into the series. However, on a map like Saravasa, the Doomfist is definitely in play for Bonzi Buddies. So YSL, one expects, we're probably going to see the Sigma coming out from Infected again. Can they find a way to turn things around? It looks like they are going to have Infected play the Orisa instead. And we actually saw this in the console open tier when we saw Red Team going up against Short Bus, where the Short Bus was absolutely dominating with their Doomfist compositions. Then Red Team on Saravasa makes the swap, has their tank go over to Orisa, and they started to turn things around. Forced them at 5, ended up losing, but the Orisa did wonders. So can YSL do it again? Because they were not able to previously on Well, but I mean, Ilias is a unique map, so I have more hopes for it on Saravasa.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you here. I feel like the Orisa pick will play a little bit better here. There's more space, considering when they played it on Lighthouse, they kind of struggled to get a lot of space. But Sugu, again, back on the Soldier, and able to find Infected out early. And now you're just seeing the rest of Bonzi here just dive in on that backline.
Just absolutely insane, wrecking shop. It just feels like YSL is looking like chickens with their heads cut off at this point, as everyone's aggressing, as we see the one person hanging back for Bonzi Buddies going to cap the point. As YSL, they got to find an answer, and I'm just not sure if this Kiriko is going to be enough heals to keep up Infected.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I mean, Kai can get them in and out. I mean, my bad. Magic 8 can get them in and out of fights pretty much quickly here. But again, the healing, I just don't know if it's fully there for YSL at the moment. But Zomba finding Z. I mean, there goes one of your healers is Infected, incredibly low, going to get taken out here by Otters. And YSL, again, this is a clean fight this is a team fight that Bonzi Buddies is just looking to clean up.
Yeah, as this synergy from Bonzi Buddies is showing through strong time and time again. And that's the thing. The DPS lineup for YSL is not the same. They definitely had Zera in last week. So the fact that there's, they play so many different players looks like it might be starting to bite them, as Bonzi just plays this consistent roster, and it really shows that this chemistry matters.
YSL trying to get back in for a touch here. Sugu, though, finding Magic 8, the Pulse Bomb, finding Wallflower, and again, not even a sweat being broken here by the Buddies, as it's a team kill in the first point going over to them.
Yeah, as you mentioned, they're not even having to break a sweat. You use that pulse bomb, but that's the only ultimate you needed to get that point flip. As we now head over to Gardens, YSL making a composition swap, which I'm very interested to see how this is going to work out. You got Infected going back over to the Sig, and this is where we've seen them have their most success at possibly breaking through this Doomfist, but they're going to have Wallflower go over to the Mei. Being able to add that slowing effect onto Zebra might be the ticket they're looking for.
They need to just have or find something that slows them down a little bit here. The ice wall comes out a little bit too late to stop Zebra. The point open here as the continue rush comes out here from Otters. And again, Bonzi just playing incredibly aggressive here. YSL needs to find some answer. They need to find it quick. But again, who else but Sugu picking up 2 kills. Z-Man or Z will find Zomba there to get everything going. But again, it's just Sugu's world that we're living in. And they themselves get the ace.
Absolutely incredible. Sugu has come into this grand finals and said, listen, I will carry us to the championship, and they have never strayed from the path of greatness.
And again, it's just a combo of Sugu and Zebra going in at this point, right? I mean, we talked about a little bit. Mentals might be going here for YSL. They need something to go their way, as Z has been the only one to pick up a kill so far.
Yeah, they just have, it feels like they have no idea where Zebra is every time. It feels like they're walking in, trying to go set up, and it's like, Zebra's like, hello, punches them, and then the whole team is there to capitalize on it. YSL has to keep their head on a swivel constantly when you're going up against a Doomfist like this. You're going to have the Blizzard to throw into this next fight, but it's going to be tough with the mobility that Bonzi has, and they're just going to give up this point, and Z goes down.
Who else again but Sugu? I mentioned it already, but this is just Sugu's world, and we're just breathing the air in it right now. Sugu has just taken over the series. Zebra finding Wallflower, and again, at the spawn doors, YSL cannot get away from them.
This is going from bad to worse if you're YSL. I mean, you haven't had a chance to use a single ultimate, so yeah, you're going to have 5 coming into this next fight. But, I mean, Bonzi, they have 4 to be able to contest you with. This is looking more and more dangerous. I mean, at this point, someone's just got to make a play for YSL. I don't care who.
Yeah, at this point, someone needs to stamp their name in this series. The damage coming out here from Z-Man, but Bonzi is already capping the point right there. And you see everyone on Bonzi just try to get away. The pulse bomb coming out will find the immortality there from Z. Meteor Strike coming out as well. And now, finally, some members of Bonzi is getting incredibly low. And Zebra taken out. This is the fight that YSL needs here. They just need to clean up. They retake the point here after Bonzi gets 25, but they're still trying to pick up the kills.
This was the fight that YSL needed. They get all the ultimates out of Bonzi and only commit 3. So now you're in a position, you have control of this point. You have 2 ultimates to Bonzi's 0. And now you can finally breathe. You can relax. You can realize, okay, we just get 1 point under our belts and we can start to get things back going for us.
Yeah, the 2 ultimates that YSL is holding on to right now, in my opinion, are 2 huge ultimates. Wallflower can use the Blitzer to try to capture somehow, but it's Azraf. An overclock that needs to be huge. It needs to be huge for them right now. They need to get a point under their belt here, build up that confidence a little bit, and try to reverse sweep this map now. You talked about Bonzi. Has no ultimates here, so it's going to be really hard for them to engage with anything, but I'd just be watching out for Sugu here.
Yeah, that's the one thing they've been so good for Bonzi. He's finding early picks, and Sugu finds another!
How do they keep letting this man get away with it? That's already almost every fight so far at this point that Sugu has just opened up. Wallflower, though, will take care of Zebra. But again, it's Sugu sending Wallflower back to point right now. YSL, they just need to win this team fight. And the point is, there's the stick, though. Gets rid of Infected. And winning this team fight seems like only a dream at this point. As just the rest of Bonzi buddies cleaning it up.
And we're going to have sound barriers still in play for both teams coming to this next fight. So, to keep YSL's hopes alive on Saravasa, it's going to be on the back of Azraf. Has this overclock to be able to commit into this fight. And I feel like you got to get aggressive with this because Sugu is looming 20% away from being able to seal the deal. Because we know he don't miss when it comes to his overclocks.
I mean, that's only one railgun headshot away from having their overclock ready to go. But if you're YSL, Azra, Z, they have that combo ready to go right now. If you want to try to get a lot of damage out, it hits the amp and the overclock right now. That's exactly what's going to come out. And look what this does to Bonzi. They're going to try to play around walls, play around corners. Be coming out here from Kai. Same thing with Otters popping their own Kitsune Rush to try to get something going. The overclock and Amateur come and go, finding no value, but you're seeing Infected pick up Zomba there. Sugu gets incredibly low, but you will see YSL retake point, but Bonzi does have some ultimates here. The overclock coming out here from Sugu. Infected has to use the flux here, will not find any kills, but they find Otters on the way back. They might be able to find Sugu here. They're going to be able to do that, and YSL will take this point and keep the map alive.
Gotta be a sigh of relief coming out from YSL. Is now, because of the way the RNG of the points have fallen, we move to Ruins for the next one. Going to be favor for YSL. But once that one's done, we go to Temple. So if you can string together this next point, if you're YSL, the points are basically going to be in your favor. You're going to be able to have good positioning going forward on these next points.
Zomba has this pulse bomb ready to go, and you see everyone for YSL kind of grouped up right there. Wallflower, though, will find Otters. Pulse bomb comes out, a huge immortality field there from Z to keep everyone alive through it. The meteor strike coming out there from Z will not be able to find anyone. Azraf, though, making sure that they get punished for their aggression there. Azraf now starting to put their name in that kill feed. Point is open, and Bonzi just trying to clean up this one. Z will get the kill there on the Kai, and YSL going to cap the point here first.
Feels like YSL is starting to flip a switch. As, I mean, they're able to win that, don't have to commit any ultimates. They're going to have a Blizzard and an Ant Matrix to work with. They were able to force out ultimates from Bonzi. I mean, they definitely got to be feeling good. It seems like they have their confidence back.
The ice wall there, just a little bit too late to pick up Zebra, and now again you just see Zebra trying to apply a lot of pressure. Bonzi maybe gonna try to play 4 point right now. That's exactly what they're gonna do, just daring YSL to walk into them on point. Wallflower kind of between a rock and a hard place, using the ice wall there to get themselves out, still holding onto a lot of ultimates. Magic Maypole, though, actually popped the beat there to try to get something going, but Magic Maypole might be the first one taken out of this fight. The Blizzard coming out from Wallflower again, just to try to get Bonzi away. It's working, but it won't find anyone. Infected, though, will find Zebra. The Flux coming out. You see Infected just looking for anyone. They're desperately looking for the Otter, though, able to get out the last second. A huge play there by the Kiriko for Bonzi. But YSL needs to try to keep Bonzi off the point right now, and they're going to be able to do that even with Zomba picking up Magic.
Next flashpoint, Temple.
Yeah, you see what that's doing here. I mean, Magic Maypole let their team know that, the pulse bomb coming out. Again, a huge immortality there from Z-Man. Make sure it does not find anyone, but Zebra, first one taking out of this fight. Bonzi can still kind of engage in this one here with this Kitsune Rush from Otters. Sugu now popping the overclock here, looking for anyone right now, desperately, just not going to be able to find one, but Bonzi, the pressure coming out there from Sugu will cap him the first point. Overclock coming out from them, beat coming out here from Kai right now. YSL doing a good job of surviving through everything, but Zebra again has to use the meteor strike to get themselves out of a sticky situation. Gonna be able to find a lot of damage, but Sugu, their name has not popped up here in a while, finds the first pick there on to Magic. Kai, Zomba cleaning up the rest of this fight, and now Bonzi looking good to make sure they don't get reverse sweep here on Survasa.
Wise decision.
And again, you saw Zomba just lurking there in the back. No pulse bomb ready, but one quick clip into the back of anyone there for YSL. That pulse bomb is right now. Ant Matrix comes out there from YSL. Infected will find Zomba. There's no pulse bomb going to be used this fight here. Bonzi, though, going to allow YSL to cap the point here and maybe just fall back and wait for Zomba to come back. Oh! Yeah, and finding Suga there is a huge pick. If they could have been able to find Zebra there, that would have been even bigger for them. That would have allowed Wallflower the time to come back. But now you see the Casino Rush being invested here by Otters to get everything going. Flux coming out here from Infected. But again, I think for the third time this map, it misses on everyone. B coming out here from Magic Maple to respond to that miss there from Infected. Wallflower back in the fight. Does have a Blizzard ready to go if they need to use it. Zebra uses the Meteor Strike here. Will not be able to find anyone with it just yet. This Pulse Bomb coming out from Zomba does not get the stick. Does not get the kill either. Zebra doing whatever they can to keep themselves alive, but Magic Maple trying to get them off the map. Infected will find Sugu there. That's been the bane of Bond or YSL's existence. Sugu has been, but getting them out of this fight first is huge for them. The touch comes out there from Zomba. Zebra gets denied at the entrance, able to eventually get their way through. B coming out here from Kai and Sugu. Now popping the overclock here. Ant is coming out here from Z, trying to get whatever they can. Zugu will be able to find Z right, or Azroth right there, but 2 kills going back the way of YSL. Bonzi, though, has capped the point. YSL needs to start playing for point here again, but Zebra doing a great job punching everyone off a point here. Infected will find Kai, or YSL desperately just trying to get rid of the remaining members of Bonzi here. Zebra, Otters, last 2 alive. It's just Zebra at this point. The wall will deny him. YSL back in control. Meteor Strike coming out there from Zebra. Overtime clock ticking down incredibly fast. Zebra doing whatever they can to keep this point alive, but they're not going to be able to. YSL breathed some life into this series by winning this map and keeping their hopes alive.
Play of the game.
This ends now. Confirmed. Dodge this. That's 2. I warned you. Cooling down.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with everything you said there, Ray. I don't know if there's a problem with your mic. It sounds like the stream is not hearing you here. But I mean,
whoops.
this was the exact map that YSL needed here. Yeah, it got off to a rough start, and Sugu kind of took over it there in the first 2 points. Like, they got a team kill, an ace on their own, and like their team was just firing at all cylinders. But YSL, all they needed to have go their way was 1 point, and I felt like they won that 3rd point there, and that built that confidence back up in them. You saw them play a little bit differently, play a little bit more aggressively. They started focusing in on individual targets, like you kind of said they needed to do. And once they were able to do that, you know, the dominoes just started falling for them there to win multiple team fights in a row, and they reverse swept that map to give themselves their 1st point in this series, which is huge, because going into that 3rd point, we were staring at potentially Bonzi buddies, a potential sweep.
Yeah, it's some extremely much needed confidence, a much needed sigh of relief for YSL being able to fight, claw, scratch their way back into this series. 3-0 would have been absolutely devastating to be facing down, and now they're able to cook in this series. 2-1, this is the series we waited for, but we are going to take a quick break. It's going to allow both teams to refocus. Grab a snack, grab a drink, and we'll be right back.
All right, welcome back to the CGL NA PC Open Tier Grand Finals. And Ray, we have ourselves a series now with YSL reverse sweeping Bonzi buddies there on Saravasa.
It is incredible. We knew this series was going to be action-packed, extremely close, nail biting, and all these maps, despite 2-0, 2-1. I mean, they've been down to the wire. YSL finally able to come through in clutch time, and I feel like they knew Sugu had that overclock coming, and he was able to get one kill, but they had so much pressure on him, they were able to take him out after that. So well played by YSL. As we have the next map pick coming in from Bonzi Buddies, trying to bring things back in their favor. We're going to Esperanza.
Esperanza is a very interesting push map, in my opinion. I feel like this is probably the most strategic of the push maps that we see, because normally a lot of the times after you get that forward spawn point, I feel like you see a lot of teams just back off the bot a little bit and wait for the other team to re-engage.
I completely agree, and I think these maps, this map particularly is going to favor both compositions we've seen out of these teams. I think if you are Bonzi Buddies, the Doomfist composition you've been playing, if you want to play it on this map, I think it's going to work. And we've seen at the highest of levels this Sigma composition working extremely well. So YSL is going to be able to continue to play that. My question is, given how well the May worked on Saravasa once they made that adjustment, is YSL going to look to make the swap? Look to stay on it and not swap off it, as it looks like they are going to keep that May, which I think is the right decision.
But look at what Bonzi's coming back out with here. The same kind of comp we saw on Blizzard World. One that had a lot of freedom of movement for them. Sugu on that Genji did great. Zamba on the Soldierin did great as well. I mean, how is YSL going to have to stop this somehow? Again, it's going to have to be kind of on Wallflower here on the May.
As the gates open and this map begins, the one advantage YSL is definitely going to have is the ability to rotate into and away from Bonzi Buddies with the speed boost available to them. They will have to be, however, extremely careful of these Otters nades. That can be absolutely devastating.
Yeah, and we saw how devastating they were at certain fights on Blizzard World as well. But YSL, again, just trying to rotate around this clock tower right now. Bonzi did the same thing to start here, but again, now they're rotating back towards the bot a little bit. Bot open, and you do see them pushing here for a slight second. Now they finally take the lead a little bit, but still, each team just kind of feeling each other out right now. But Zamba can be able to find Magic Maypole out first, then trade out by Wallflower, and then another trade onto Wallflower.
Yeah, to me, it's extremely perplexing, Dexatron. This composition that YSL's playing, what is Wallflower doing off by himself like that? You feel like, you want to play a lot closer and help out your Sigma, but they were just completely isolated, and you just completely trade out, and I feel like that was not what you wanted to open things up if you're YSL.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Tryhard Ray. It just seemed like, again, they went a little bit too far away from their team. Maybe they thought they were going to rotate on to Zebra there, but there's just no follow-up there from their team. Again, each team trying to play this really safe at the moment. It seems like neither team really wants to, be very aggressive, but you see Kai get taken out there by Infected. A huge pickoff here for YSL very early in this one. You do see two members of YSL hit by that anti-nade. The Immortality are going to have to come out here from Z to keep them all alive, but Zebra popping the meteor strike there, not going to find anything. Actually, they get punished for it.
Yeah, you do get you're going to win the fight. You're down Z if you're YSL, but you're going to be able to gain a lot of meterage. You forced out that meteor strike. You haven't had to use any ultimates of your own. Blizzard coming online for Wallflower. He's got to be careful. A lot of targets low. You can't afford for anyone to go down just yet.
Yeah, I expect this to be a kind of a heavy ult-invested fight here from both sides, but I feel like each team just looking for one ultimate to come out from the other. But it's going to be Zamba getting the nano here from Otters. The overclock coming out from them as well. Going to be responded here by the beat from Magic Maypole. And these two ultimates from Bonzi going to find nothing here. Now the Blizzard coming out from Wallflower will find Zamba and Otters. Zamba taking out Otters. Going to be lucky to keep themselves alive here. Sugu, though, in the backline, popping the blade, will find one, make it two there. And now they have control of the bot. I don't think YSL really knows.
No, they definitely know, but they're all just pretty much dead. That took pretty much every single ultimate that Bonzi had, but you're going to take it because you're going to be able to gain so much distance. I think you might be able to gain yourself this first checkpoint, which is going to be a huge deal on a map like Esperanza, to where you can just keep falling back, take control of the high ground, and it makes YSL's job that much harder going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. You kind of see it already. Bonzi kind of already expecting it, planning it. You see 3 of their members up there on that high ground. The only person to go a little bit away and be a little bit aggressive is Sugu.
And I mean, that's kind of what Sugu wants to do, be able to take their own angles and look for these rail shots. YSL going to have a distinct ult advantage coming to this next fight. They have to take these next fights and snowball and try and match this first point checkpoint that Bonzi has been able to gain.
Sugu has to dash out. That disrupting shot there from Azraf, who immediately pops the overclock right now, looking for anyone. But a good job there by Otter. Get the anti-nade on them. Sugu will be able to take care of them here. Now the flux coming out here from Infected will hit people this time. Going to be able to slam Kai to the ground. Magic Maypal will be able to clean him up there. Infected finds Sugu again, and now YSL. You said they needed to win a team fight. They won that team fight.
Yeah, they're going to need to find more Zebras still alive. They're going to have an Ant Matrix just going to the next fight, but the Nano's now going to get engaged.
And you see Zebra focusing in on Z-Man, going to be able to find them their wall. They will find Otters, but it's just Zebra again throwing fists at people, finding 2 already. Maybe looking for a 3rd here with a Meteor Strike. Not going to be able to. Infected, though, takes them out.
Yeah, now the res comes in on the Otters, and you're not able to fight aggressively here. You have to back up if you're YSL, wait for your team to re-engage. That was absolutely devastating for the side of YSL.
Yeah, and because of how Bonzi's been playing these fights here, like, the spawns haven't reset. They're still getting these forward spawns, and you're seeing YSL just struggle to get the bot back to at least the starting point to reset those spawns. And again, Bonzi being very aggressive here. YSL, though, all in that high ground. The Valkyrie coming out here from Kai to keep everyone supported, maybe even do a little bit of damage here as you see the damage beam come out from them. But again, you just see Bonzi, once they realize they're maybe in a little bit too deep, get out to safety, jump out.
As Zomba's going to have the overclock looking for kills. Not able to find anybody, forces out the sound barrier for Magic Maypal.
And that's kind of been a normal response here from Magic Maypal and YSL so far whenever they hear that overclock come out. The Blizzard coming out here from Wallflower will not be able to find anyone, but it does give them the thing they were looking for. The spawn resets the blade, though, coming out from Sugu. We saw him get 2 last time. Diving in, has to fall back out, but Azraf with a huge railgun shot there to make sure they get sent back to the spawn here, and it's the far spawns this time. And now YSL just looking to find another one here to give them a huge advantage.
Yeah, they have to clean up this fight. They can't lose Z like they have been in these exiting fights. And it looks like they aren't going to this time, as now they're able to clean up and they're going to buy themselves so much distance on this cart. But they're just going to let Zebra get out.
They saw you saw the ice wall come up there from Wallflower, but it was just a little bit too late again to capture Zebra before it. But now Bonzi going to be able to get back out here and contest this bot before they get to the checkpoint.
Yeah, and you'll be facing a Nano that'll probably go on to top of Zebra. Valk will be able to keep people up in this fight, but they are going to face a Flux and Amp Matrix combination that can deal out a lot of damage.
Zebra tried to escape with their life at the moment. Gonna be able to. The Valkyrie comes out. Azraf, though, shuts down Kai. The Nano comes out to Zebra at the perfect time. The huge anti there onto Infected. Zebra will be able to find them, but you're just seeing YSL now clean up the fight. They got the forward spawns, I believe, and they might be able to take the lead.
They might, depends if they can get this pick onto Otters, and they do. This is all now just when you thought Bonzi had the momentum. YSL flips it on its head, and you're going to have DPS ultimates to come into this next fight with.
Again, but we've seen Bonzi do this in the past, just be very aggressive, find these early picks. Zebra, though, going to immediately start with the Meteor Strike of their own, trying to find anyone. It looks like it's just to get themselves out, but Sugu, normally the first one to find kills, gets killed first this time, and YSL now in the lead here with 3 minutes left to go.
And you're going to have the ability to throw in a Blizzard into this next fight. They have to hope that Zomba can come through on the Sojourn with an overclock, and they found Magic Maypal.
And Zebra finds Wallflower, so no Blizzard for YSL this fight. Magic Maypal not going to be able to use the beat because, like you said, they were first one taken out. Zomba will find one there with the overclock, but their team finally able to clean up that fight. However, YSL has these forward spawns. I don't know if Bonzi gets us back to the checkpoint or the reset in time.
I think you're going to take that next. I mean, yes, you lose Magic 8 Ball. You didn't use the sound barrier for the overclock, but Sugu will be coming in with a blade, and you'll have the sound barrier to throw in response. And if you want, you can even throw in the Blizzard to try and slow down and zone Sugu. So you have two options if you're YSL to deal with what has been a devastating ultimate for YSL.
Absolutely. Spawns, though, reset right there. Azraf gets really low, but you look at this fight right now. You Infected trying to take a lot of space. Zebra has to back up, and look what that forces out here from Kai, the Valkyrie, but Zebra finds Wallflower. So again, no Blizzard can be ready this fight. The Flux has been a lot better this map than it was last map. Gonna be able to find some there, but not gonna be able to find any kills. The Accretion will hit Zebra there for a moment as the Valkyrie finally goes away there from Kai, but YSL, again, back in control of the bot as they're just looking to find an early pick, but Sugu popping the blade. If they need one to be huge, it needs to be this one, but Infected again shuts down the person who normally finds these first picks, and now they turn it into 2, looking for 3. Zebra, though, will shut down Z here, but YSL, I mean, they're doing everything they need to do right now.
Yeah, a minute and a half left on the clock. A lot of ultimates were engaged from Bonzi. They have to string together 1 or 2 fights to try and turn this around. Zomba goes low, but Zebra finds Azraf.
And Wallflower gonna get hit by the Otter's gonna be hit by the Accretion there, taken out by Wallflower. Infected finds Zebra, and now YSL just in control of the bot again. Zomba, though, finds a huge pick there onto Matefall, and now you see them focusing in on Wallflower there. Sugu will be able to find them, and you see Infected has to just back out of this one, but why do they re-engage?
Yeah, you're going to have a couple players up there, but they're going to elect to just take control of the bot, which I think is going to be a smart thing. Blizzard coming online for YSL as we are approaching the final minute on Esperanza. Make ball goes down.
A huge pick there by Zomba. The Flux coming out there from Infected. I don't think it found anyone that time. And now you see Bonzi here. Will be able to get the forward spawns for these last 30 seconds, which could be huge for this series. YSL holding on to a slim lead.
Yeah, this Blizzard overclock combination coming in for YSL has to be the secret sauce that nets them a 2-2 series lead.
Valkyrie coming out here from Kai. It's going to be paired with the overclock here from Zomba. 1 pick from this railgun is all they need, and they find Z out early. Infected taking out Sugu, finds Azraf. The Blizzard, though, will find 1, but I don't think there's enough follow-up here from YSL to get anything going right now. They need a miracle here from Magic 8 Ball, but that miracle will not happen as Bonzi takes the lead.
And that is going to be the map. Bonzi able to clutch up in the end. Takes this map and goes up 3-1 and puts themselves on championship point.
A great round here for Bonzi. I mean, they started off good, then YSL came back. They built that momentum up, and I think it was this play right here by Zomba that kind of opened it up, kind of changed the momentum of that entire map, gave Bonzi back the bot back, gave the bot back to Bonzi, and Bonzi never really let go after that.
I think it's just a product of the fact that, once again, early picks coming in from Bonzi. Once again, they got aggressive with their overclock. The ult advantage was definitely slightly in the favor of YSL coming into that last fight. Being able to aggressively use that Blizzard and overclock could have netted them a win, but we just saw Bonzi once again get aggressive, find the picks, and it's a big reason why they find themselves on championship point.
Yeah, we talked about it a lot throughout this series. It doesn't matter who it is. It just whoever's playing the Soldier is always able to find just these opening picks here for Bonzi. Yeah, and you can give a lot of credit there to Zebra for taking a lot of attention away from those 2 DPS for Bonzi. But again, you just have to give a lot of credit to Sugu and Zomba for being able to land those shots.
Yeah, lots of props on the entirety of the Bonzi buddies. Well, it all comes down to this for YSL. They get the map pick, and I think they've chosen a good one to try and limit this Doomfist composition. We are headed to Shambhala Monastery.
Yeah, I think, again, we talked about this going into our second map of the night. Whenever YSL picks a map, they need to pick a map that the Doomfist cannot find a lot of value, or if they're going to try to run the Doomfist, it struggles to find value. Shambhala Monastery, a very kind of close quarters map through and through up until you get to the final point. And I just don't feel like that really works for how Zebra wants to play this Doomfist. They've been really open to wanting to be in the open, have these wide open spaces where they can jump around and get themselves out. This map is not that.
I agree. I think this map limits a lot of what Bonzi has been so successful in. I think, you know, for players like Zomba and Sugu, these are good maps for like Sojourn and hit scans to take their angles. So they have that going for them. But we haven't seen Zebra go off this Doomfist, and this is just not as conducive as a map to be able to continue to play that. I mean, who knows? Maybe they can force their way and make it work, but I think, you know, just map pick wise, advantage YSL coming into map number 5.
Yeah, but this is the same conversation we had going into map 2 of Blizzard World. We talked about, you know, it's not a good Doomfist map. If they're going to play it, they're going to force it. But Zebra did find some value on Blizzard World. Not as much on offense, but a lot on the defensive round they had there. They found a lot of value. Again, basically, they took a lot of attention away from their 2 DPS here. So I really fully expect Zebra to run the Doomfist. If there's anything that kind of shows me that YSL is starting to take over the series, is if Zebra gets off the Doomfist at this point.
Well, we're about to find out what these teams are looking to want to play. YSL, no surprises here. Sigma with the Mei and Bonzi. It looks like they are going to force this Doomfist once again. I mean, the old adage is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's gotten them this far. Can it net them a championship? It can all come down to this map for Bonzi.
Yeah, I mean, Bonzi has 3 maps right now to win 1 and, you know, be champions here, but you don't want to give YSL the momentum back, because you saw what YSL did with momentum on Saravasa after they got that first point. They looked like an entirely different team.
I would say the one thing, even if you end up dropping this map, if you're Bonzi, you're going to be able to pick all the rest of the maps going forward in this series. So that's one thing you have going for you. But you definitely want to close this out right here and now, as Suguru going to go over to this Echo, which I'm kind of a big fan of. That focusing beam can help finish off a lot of these targets a lot easier, like more of a chunky DPS like Mei is.
And Zomba already starting off finding Magic out early, but Wallflower going to be able to find Sugu right back there. However, I believe they're going to probably get Rez back into this one. And now the Doomfist, we talked about maybe struggling here. Zebra just is finding the value already.
Yeah, Infected does find that pick onto Kai and Otter, so no healing on the side of YSL, but it doesn't matter if the rest of the team is dead for Infected, as he just is forced to back up.
Yeah, you see Magic, they're trying to just boost them out of it, but not fast enough, as Zomba able to blink right back into their presence and take care of Infected.
Yeah, as much as they wanted to speed them out, they couldn't. They had to stay on heals and amp up the heals to keep them alive, and they just weren't able to get out in time, as YSL is just on the back foot. This dive is working out so well. The Sugu, Zomba, and Zebra are just all on the same page when it comes to these dive targets.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was something I kind of talked about at the start of the series. A good Doomfist comp is very hard to beat if you cannot get rid of the Doomfist, and so far that's been the hardest thing for YSL to do. The Pulse Bomb comes out there, will only take care of the Immortality field there for Z, but right now, I mean, Bonzi doing a good job here. Sugu pops the duplicate here into a Sigma of their own. Will get knocked out of it, but you're just seeing the kills already go the way of Bonzi.
Yeah, the damage has been done. I mean, you pop Amp Matrix, but it's just not going to be enough. That is point number 1 captured for Bonzi with quite some ease coming into this. And man, it just feels like YSL. Okay, we're going to get some swaps coming in. They're going to have Wall or abandon the Mei, which, I mean, I kind of agree with this Sojourn. I mean, not Sojourn. This Echo and Tracer combination, it's not super conducive for Mei to find a lot of value into.
Yeah, but again, I feel like you're seeing Magic make a swap here as well, going over to the Brigitte. I mean, you just need to shut down someone here. I think you've been able to find some kills, but Kai has been able to res them, get them right back in the fight. And now, I mean, this second point push is hard to get through if you get stopped once. And YSL, they just need one team fight to go their way.
Yeah, you need Magic Maypaw on this Brig to help limit a lot of what Zomba is able to do, and Brig is going to be the right trick as Pulse Bomb Meteor Strike come out. It doesn't find anyone.
Wallflower, though, will find Zomba immediately trade out there by Otters. Kai gonna pop the Valkyrie here. They've done a good job with these Valkyries, just making sure everyone gets healed up from their team. And they get Zomba back in the fight. You should not allow that to happen now. The Kasuni Rush coming out here from Bonzi as the Flux comes out from Infected, looking to try to get rid of some members, but they're not going to be able to. Z-Man, though, I mean, Z does take care of Otters there, and now, I mean, you need to try to win this fight here. If you're YSL, you get rid of one support, but you immediately see Sugu pop that duplicate back into the Sigma here, immediately gets taken out there by Magic Mayfall. And again, YSL is, in my opinion, doing a really good job this fight, just cleaning up targets, even though they've really only found one pick.
And yeah, okay, there you go. Azraf getting Zebra down. That is going to spell the end of this fight. And that's some much needed momentum coming in from YSL. And they, I mean, with the new, more defensive composition they're playing with the Brig, I think they have a chance to turn things around. Bonsai Buddies threw a lot into that fight. And now YSL has built up to a war chest of ultimates.
Yeah, but I mean, I talked about Kai using the Valkyrie only, it feels like about 45 seconds ago, and they have another one ready to go this fight. It won't really win you a fight on its own, but it can keep it, you know, in the fight a lot longer. But like you said, YSL, a war chest of ultimates at the moment. They have to be smart, though, and not get caught out here by a Pulse Bomb.
Pulse Bomb comes out. Azraf almost goes down, but is able to stay alive as the Valk is now is up for Kai, trying to keep the team up. But YSL has not had to commit anything in this fight so far, and they're just wasting more time.
Speaking of committing, they commit the overclock here on the Azraf and the Immortality Field. Kai gonna pop their Valkyrie here, not gonna be able to find anyone with it, but just keep enough members alive to make sure Zomba finds Magic Wallflower, though, who immediately trade that kill on Sugu, popping their own Pulse Bomb here, now focusing in on Otters. Meteor Strike comes out there from Zebra, not gonna be able to find anyone there. Azraf and Zebra trade their Z for Zomba. You will take that, I think, if you're Bonzi here, as you just want to be a little bit more aggressive. And Zebra, with about 15 health, able to find Infected there, and it's really up to Azraf right now to try to slow this cart down.
Yeah, and they're just not going to be able to do it, but the rally's going to come out for Magic May to keep them alive for just long enough to get their spawners back.
And a huge play here by Magic. You see what that does to Bonzi, even with a little bit of a numbers and damage advantage. They fall back, but YSL, you can't let them cap the point here and now. Another duplicate coming out here. This time Sugu goes after the Brig. The damage comes out here from Z, but they're not going to be able to use it for very long here. Magic taking out Wallflower, though, will find Zebra. Z taking out Azraf, taking out Infected. Wallflower making sure they keep their team alive at this point here. Just trying to clean up the rest of Bonzi here. The Pulse Bomb stick is huge, finds Kai, and now they're just trying to get rid of Zomba here. They're going to be able to do that, and they hold on by the skin of their teeth.
Wow, it's just like the hair on their chinny chin. YSL able to keep the second point in defense alive. I mean, it cost them pretty much everything they had. Bonsai, they'll be able to come in, lots of ultimates to be able to use, but I mean, considering how fast Bonsai was able to take this first point, the amount of time you've been able to drain off the clock if you're YSL is awesome. If they can get like a really good opening pick here, they might be able to win this fight despite the ult advantage Bonsai is going to have.
Zomba used Pulse Bomb early, not able to find a pick there with that. You do see Zebra here focusing in on Z yet again, but they're doing a good job making sure that Zebra does not find them here. Now Zebra has to use their own meteor strike to get out. The Valkyrie and the Kitsune Rush coming out here from Oz are not going to do a lot for their team, but Infected going to get punched out there by Zebra. But hey, YSL, they survived through all 4 ultimates that Bonzi had, and now they're building up to all theirs here. This is final fight here, but Zomba with a huge pick on the Wildflower, making sure that it might not be final point. They're looking for more right now. Overtime has commenced here for Bonzi. They need to find a pick, and they need to find it now.
Azraf getting very close to an overclock, could slam the door in the face of Bonsai if they can build up to it. Here it comes!
Overclock come out. Azraf shuts down Zomba. The Ant Majors coming out here from Z. Azraf putting their name in this kill feed. Finds 1, 2, make it 3. Can they find a 4th? It's 4. Not going to be able to find the ace, but Infected make sure the round will end here and now. And YSL, a huge point to stop.
The swap over to the more defensive Brig composition for Magic May is working out in spades. I mean, Zomba, you know, the Trace is still going to find its value when it finds its value, but the Brig is limiting the amount that it's able to find on the back line, and it's helping out a lot with the Doomfist. I mean, we've seen time and time where Magic Meatball is turning around, hitting the whip shot on to Zebra and just affecting what he's trying to do. So it's a very nice adjustment coming out from YSL. Can they continue to ride this momentum, make this a 3-2 series, and look to come back?
I mean, we saw this almost exact same thing on Blizzard World, and I talked about it, that YSL looks like they finally figured out how to shut down the Doomfist comp, or just shut down Zebra a little for Bonzi, but then they couldn't really get anything going after capping the first point there. This time, though, they need to be able to cap this first point with a decent amount of time. They need to have a lot of time. If it goes into overtime on this first point, YSL essentially is going to have to win every team fight after that, in my opinion.
Yeah, getting off to a fast start is going to be huge. Interestingly enough, Suguru is going to elect to get off of the Echo for this defense, and they're going to go over to the Pharah. So, I mean, Pharah's going to have a lot more verticality, but not as much fluidity when it comes to the movement. So, you can definitely be much more of a sitting duck in the sky on Pharah. So, you have to be very careful of your positioning if you're Sugu.
But honestly, I do like this pick here from Sugu. If they're taking some focus off of Zebra here, that's only going to help Zebra out a little bit more, get into that backline, and then it's just that thing of, hey, we need to focus on Zebra a little bit more, so you focus less on Sugu, and Sugu starts to pop off. But right now, again, an opening pick for YSL is what they need, and it's not going to be what they find, and it's Sugu putting their name in a kill feed. But Kai, a huge trade there coming out as Infected finds them right now.
Yeah, that's a big pick. Res in the fight, so YSL can start to look to take these fights, and there's no pocket available for Sugu either.
And now you see the dive come in there from Zebra. Samba will be able to take care of Magic Mayfall, but hey, YSL still doing a good job of just pushing this cart up now. Ooh.
A lot of progress to be made as Sugu is just in the skies looking, prodding for those picks. But Wallflowers found Zebra.
Both tanks out. Zomba going to be taken out after that kill. They're on to Infected. YSL still does have a good opportunity here to push this cart a little bit, but again, Zebra will be able to get back up much faster than Infected.
A lot of ultimates will be coming online for Bonzi just because they're able to take all this damage in the free range. You're going to be having Rocket Barrage, Pulse Bomb, and even a Nano coming online. This is going to be tough for YSL to be able to push through.
But we have seen YSL survive through a heavily invested ult fight from Bonzi before. They need to do it again here if they really want to keep themselves alive. But you see just the synergy coming out from the Pulse Bomb coming out there from Zomba. We'll be able to find Magic Mayfall there. I don't think it's stuck, but now you're just starting to see Bonzi clean up this team fight, and YSL has already burned through about half their time.
Yeah, and it only cost them a Pulse Bomb. You needed to force more ultimates out of YSL out of Bonzi if you were YSL. So you got to go back to the spawn room and look to regroup. It's almost already halfway to another Pulse Bomb. That was a disastrous fight for YSL.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, you're looking at YSL coming back in this one here. You're going to have a Flux. You're going to have a Pulse Bomb and the Amp Matrix. But again, Sugu is just going to be waiting for you to get around a corner and then pop a barrage.
Yeah, this is dangerous territory. In comes the Nano Barrage, but a Flux comes in, but it still finds Azrath.
The accretion comes in there, but like you said, still find Azrath there, so it's worth it for them here. But Z will be able to find Sugu there, and I don't think you're going to see Kai try to commit into getting them back up here, even though they use their Valkyrie. Huge anti there from Otters as the Flux comes out from Infected. Will not be able to get rid of anyone now, but if you're YSL, I mean, you lose one person there for 3 ults coming out from Bonzi, and you find Kai. Huge start to this re-engaged fight here, especially with almost a minute to go on the clock.
Yeah, you will be facing the Pulse Bomb and the Meteor Strike, but those are the least of your problems. Those aren't as dangerous. You're going to have an Amp Matrix and a Overclock, and they're going to look to re-engage.
Amp comes out here. Zomba just going after Z there, but they're going to be able to keep themselves alive there. Cart less than 3 meters away. Not going to be C9 there, as you do see Zebra come right back down to earth. The beat coming out here from Magic Mayfall, just trying to get whatever they can. Z-Ruff going to try to find one. They do there. Suga, though, making sure that they find Magic Mayfall there, but it doesn't matter as YSL gets the first point.
3 minutes on the clock. YSL had to throw a lot into that, but you had to make sure to keep your hopes alive in this tournament. As you mentioned, it's going to be tough because they're going to have to win a lot of consecutive fights in a row to bring this home, as Kai has now swapped over to the Brig. No more Mercy, and Sugu now back on that famous Sojourn we've seen him play throughout this series.
Yeah, the pharmacy combo is out, sent back to the spawns here for the moment. But I mean, yeah, Sugu back on the soldier, and we saw them just dominate the first couple maps on it and a little bit on Saravasa. But there was a turn there, and I feel like Azrav, especially getting this kill on the Sombra, they've started to kind of make sure that they're known as a good soldier and player as well.
As this is pretty much final fight territory for Bonzi. You're going to have a Nano to throw into this fight, but Wallflower can open things up. Has a pulse bomb. Can he make this a 3-2 series?
Wallflower gonna desperately look for those two supports in that back line. The Nano coming out here onto Sugu, trying to do whatever they can. A huge anti there onto Infected, gonna be able to keep themselves alive there, but you do lose Z, Azrav, and now Infected all being taken out. YSL either at this point get out of the fight or just head back to spawn.
Yeah, you head back to spawn if you're YSL. You have built up to a lot of ultimates coming to this next fight, especially if you get aggressive here. Because the thing is, I feel like you want to get aggressive, win this fight before Kai can build up to the rally, because you're going to have a Flux, you're going to have an Ant Matrix. Wallflower is going to go over to the Mei now, which is going to make Zebra's job that much harder, especially in the close quarters area of the map that we're in right now.
And you see Zebra just trying to jump over walls there, trying to disrupt what YSL wants to do. Pulse Bomb comes out. It's already gone. The Flux comes out from Infected. Hits 3, but not able to find any kills there. Otters, Sugu out. This is what YSL needs here. They find Kai as well. This might be all they wrote for this map. You do see Zomba just kind of lurking there in the background, but the Ice Wall comes out, making sure they don't come back to the cart in time, and YSL keeping this series alive.
Woo-wee, baby. 3-2-2. An Infected opening things up with a huge Gravitic Flux, putting so much pressure onto 3 members of Bonzi Buddies, and then they're able to do the cleanup, and that was all she wrote. We talked about on Saravasa. A lot of those ults were more zoning and weren't able to find as much value for the Fluxes as Infected would have wanted. That's probably the Flux of the series.
Yeah, I mean, considering how many Fluxes we saw come out and just kind of miss, that was exactly what they needed. Like you said, it might be the Flux of the series, and it might be a point that we come back to later if YSL is able to come back and completely reverse sweep Bonzi Buddies here to get this championship as a play that turned around this entire series.
As I mentioned, although you dropped this map for Bonzi, going forward in the rest of the series, you're going to have every single map pick. They do have the next map pick, and we are going back to Control since we've made a full cycle through, and Bonzi has elected to bring us to Lijiang Tower to try and bring this home, which I think is a very smart decision. This is probably one of the, I mean, outside of Ilios, the next best Doomfist map you could have asked for.
Yeah, I mean, and we saw what they were able to do on Ilios, but you have to give YSL a lot of credit. When they swapped over to the Sigma on Ruins, it kind of did almost stop that Doomfist comp a little bit, but then Sugu just kind of showed up, took over the map.
I think this Doomfist comp is still going to be good on Lijiang. It's not nearly going to be as good as Ilios just because it's so much more open, a lot more room to work with for the Doomfist. And the Sigma being able to be in more close quarters can take advantage and really disrupt what Zebra's trying to do, but it's still very conducive to the Doomfist. So really, it's just going to be, you know, making sure these teams are playing well within their compositions. But my question is, for YSL, we've seen them swap things up a lot. We've seen the swap on the Mei to the Tracer back and forth. We've seen Magic Maypal on the Lucio, on the Brig. I mean, for a period when they were on the Pharah, they were on the Illari to help put pressure onto the Pharah, but it's mostly been Lucio or Brig. Control is known for being fast-paced, and Lucio has almost been like you have to play Lucio on these Control maps. So it looks like they are going to go in that direction. They're going to have Wallflower play the Mei for this point as we're starting on Control Center.
Yeah, and like this was one thing I kind of learned from YSL when watching the losers finals from them, is that they like to play the Sigma comp, but they don't like to play like the staple Sigma comp where you have the Mei and a Bastion. They like to play it with this Soldierin as well, or the Soldierin, and I feel like that's actually worked out a lot better for them. The Bastion is just a large target, and Bonzi would probably have an easy job, especially with Zomba on the Tracer, of just cleaning them up.
Couldn't agree more, as YSL has great positioning to start things up. Question is, how much value is Suguru going to be able to find with this fair? I mean, Control Center can be a tough one to find it, and Z has found Zomba.
Yeah, so that gets rid of a lot of the backline pressure very early here for Bonzi. But again, you have Zebra right there, going to be able to try to make some noise in that backline, trying to find Z-Man. You see him dive on a point just to make sure that YSL doesn't have a free point cap, but eventually they have to dive out. Azra
almost down again. Coming back from spawn, Azra finds the rail shot as YSL has started to take this momentum they built on Shambali and is making good use of it.
Zomba can just not play the game. I think YSL has just decided that at this moment, and it's working out really good for them right now. But, you know, Bonzi is just playing this smart. They want to have a full team dive here, and you do see the dive come out there from Zebra, but Sugu going to be taken very low here, and Otter's going to be the first one taken out of this fight. Zebra now not going to be pocketed at all, has to try to fend for themselves. Magic Meatball going to make sure, again, Zomba not able to do anything this fight.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of this Ana with the Mercy. It feels like Otters is kind of just a sitting duck, and if you're not positioned well, YSL can easily just speed onto you and take you out. Are they going to make any swaps? It doesn't look like it. Sugu's going to have the barrage coming into this fight as we're approaching 50% already gained for YSL.
Yeah, but still a lot of time for Bonzi to get in here. And like you said, they're coming up on a lot of ultimates, while YSL, other than Z, kind of lagging behind Bonzi here. I mean, Sugu and Zamba can have two deadly ultimates right now, but YSL did a good job avoiding the barrage last time. But Infected, not even going to let them get it off this time, but you will see the res come out.
Yeah, but that's going to be a lot of ult charge to try and go in the favor of YSL. Barrage comes out. It's not able to find anything.
And Otter's already taken out again. Zebra kind of has to fend for their own here a little bit, or Kai has to focus in on them, but Infected gets taken low, gonna get healed up. This pulse bomb stick there on to Azraf. Will take care of them here. And Bonzi, this is your opportunity. You got rid of one. You need to go now.
And there's two sound barriers going to come out for Magic Meatball. Can YSL turn this fight around?
I mean, the beat came out. Infected not going to use the Fluxio Wallflower, not going to use the Blizzard as well. They just accepted that fight there, and they're just going to go back. But hey, 97 on the point. That's one team fight win is all YSL needs.
And you're going to be facing a Nano Doomfist, but YSL gets to come in. You have a Blizzard, a Flux, and Overclock to work with. YSL has the tools to be able to push in and take this first point and continue to build the momentum that they have been working on and try and force a map number 7.
And Zamba looking for it here. The Flux coming out, or the Overclock coming out here from Azraf. Wallflower will find Zebra there, so no Meteor Strike available now. Sugu, though, does pop the Raj, will find 2 with it, but Wallflower takes them out right back. YSL, in all that mess there, able to retake the point. Now Zamba just trying to do their best here to hold onto it. Wallflower going to find Kai there, who looks like they were just jumping off the map anyway. But right now, it's these last 2 members of Bonzi here just trying to do whatever they can. Otters, again, taken out here. Wallflower, again, just trying to clean up Zamba and Zebra Infected there as well. Now it's the entirety of YSL. The Blizzard coming out, but Z-Man goes a little bit too far. Wallflower finds Suguru, and YSL 1 point away from forcing a map 7.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Zamba goes down in that fight without being able to throw in that pulse bomb. As you know, that's the look of the RNG when it comes for YSL. That was going to be the best map for the Sigma Rush style. And, you know, this map is going to be the best map for the Doomfist composition. So this is Bonzi's opportunity to tie this up, go to a point number 3, and look to send YSL home and their chances of coming back in this series. For YSL, it's going to be about keeping your space, giving Infected and Azraf the chances they need to find the damage and look for those rail shots for Azraf.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Azraf, like we kind of mentioned, has kind of taken over the series ever since the Esperanza map, and I feel like it's been something that they really needed to have happen. Just one player kind of go in. Magic Meatball going to be able to keep themselves alive here. Suguru trying to force them out a little bit here. Infected now trying to hit the accretion there onto Zebra. Gets them low. They have to get themselves out of this fight, though. But Bonzi looking like they just want to try to get on point and stay there.
As again, this is great positioning for YSL to be able to take. Question is, can they capitalize and Wallflower's down?
And that gets rid of the ice wall there. That's huge for YSL to find out, or for Bonzi. Now the accretion, though, gonna hit Zamba there, but it's immediately traded out as Z falls. Magic Meatball falls as well, and that will be the rest of YSL falling right after that.
I mean, very well played from Bonzi. As we talked about, the much more open area is going to allow Zebra to be able to pop off that much more and have so much more room to work with. As Infected is going to go over to the Orisa. I mean, I kind of like that, especially if you can make this a full-on brawl on the point. I think that's what they're going to have to do, is look to bunker down on the point and try and just affect Zebra as he dives in.
Yeah, but Zomba, again, we talked about them not being able to play last map. Now, at this point, it's Wallflower not being able to play here as Bonzi Blade just finding the early picks they need to right now. Look what this does to YSL. They're forced to fall back.
Yeah, completely out of their control if you're YSL. You just can't allow your players to continue to get picked early in this fight, and they found Sugu!
And they find Zomba right after that. The Kitsune Rush coming out here from Otters a little bit too late to save their two DPS characters. But hey, you do find Wallflower right after that. And now Kai gets taken out. Otters taken out there. And now it's just up to Zebra. But that was a losing fight from the start. YSL takes the point at 47% there for Bonzi, though.
And no ultimate commit needed for YSL, which is going to be big, and that Kitsune Rush was thrown in from Otter. So momentum shifts back in the favor of YSL, but Bonzi is known for being able to find early and quick fights, picks in the fights. So you got to be very careful if you're YSL, despite having the ult advantage.
And you see Zomba here just kind of lurking around, looking for that pulse bomb stick, maybe onto Infected, maybe onto someone like Z-Man. Try to get out some utility early for them here. But they're, again, just in the backline. Pulse bomb comes out, doesn't get the stick, and I don't think really anything comes out there for anyone for YSL, but it's Azra finding Kai, so no beat going to be available here for Bonzi. Zebra going to use the Meteor Strike here. Now the Blade and the Blizzard coming out here for YSL. Bonzi, though, the Blade not going to be able to do what they wanted to do this time, as that Blade has kind of gone dull lately for Suguru. But now, again, YSL able to use some ultimates there and just hold on to the point.
Yeah, not a whole lot you can do when there's a sound barrier and a Blizzard zoning you off as the sound barrier engaged for Kai that comes out.
Terror Surge coming out here from Infected, not going to be able to do anything but get rid of those shields that Kai provided them. Infected will find Kai, but again, you're down 2 teammates already. Make it 3. If you're YSL, you're probably just trying to hold on to this point as long as you can at this moment.
Yeah, just gaining as much percentage as you can. You're going to get a nice round, like 73%. And I mean, Bonzi, it cost them that sound barrier, but that sound barrier engaged exactly what they needed, provided that overshield to allow them to get aggressive and find those picks. YSL will be able to rotate and engage in this next fight. The good thing is you have an ant matrix, so Bonzi will not be able to be as bold as they would like trying to push this this agenda of going after this backline.
Zomba again looking for that pulse bomb stick. Magic Maypole taking out Suguru, though, traded out. The Kitsune Rush coming out here from Otters. It's responded with the Ant Matrix here from Z. And you're just seeing the kills all go Bonzi's way. Infected, though, will find Zebra, but the fight pretty much already lost here for YSL.
Fight is over as things are now looking so good for Bonzi. You're going to have so many ultimates coming this next fight. YSL should be able to get a touch, but it's looking rough. They have to hope and pray Wallflower can somehow build up to this Blizzard fast enough and make something happen.
Someone just needs a touch here. It's going to probably be up the Magic Ball. Infected going to get there. Make sure we force an overtime. You see the 2 ultimates. About to be 3 ultimates ready for Bonzi right now. Zomba still holding on that pulse bomb, looking to find someone. Not going to be able to find Azruff there. And that's a huge one out. Now the Meteor Strike comes out here from Zebra. Just trying to keep himself up alive and find some damage out. The Blizzard, though, comes out here from Wallflower. Going to be able to find Zebra there. That's a huge pickoff here for YSL. The beat coming out. Now the Blade for Sugu. Can they sharpen it up this time? No, but it will do a lot of damage there. 2 Infected. Wallflower will find Otters, so really no supports other than the Lucio on the point right now for Bonzi. Zomba doing whatever they can, gets rid of the tank there, and Zebra will be able to get back in time, but oh! No one for YSL touches, and as you see Magic Maypole in the chat, it's a C9.
Very unfortunate, as I don't think that had been decided who was going to ultimately win that fight. Now we come down to the final point, which is Night Market, which to me, this is very like touch and go on how well the Doomfist composition is going to do here. It has its room to work with, like in the areas when you're trying to engage in fights, but if it goes to the point, it makes the Doomfist composition a little bit harder to find the value. But I mean, Bonzi has shown, even in situations where the Doomfist hasn't worked out, they can force it and just do wonders with it, as Infected's going to continue to play this Orisa.
And I feel like we're going to see a completely different YSL team here this map. I mean, they lose it, series is over. They need to win this to force a map 7 here. So we might see some desperation picks come out at certain points of this map here for YSL.
Couldn't agree with you more as the aggression coming in from both sides on these Lucios as Azraf's already down.
Yeah, but you see Sugu very low as well. Wallflower going to trade that one out there, so already 1 DPS down for both sides. But at the moment, YSL just kind of holding on to the point here, trying to bunker in on it. You see everyone for Bonzi coming right back in, trying to focus in on Infected, but they're getting forced off. Though Orisa doing its job.
Yeah, as the Orisa has a lot of beefiness and health, it's really tough for this Doomfist composition unless Zebra, Zomba, and Sugu are all on the same page. And it felt like they got a little bit separated trying to isolate their own targets. If they want to make this work against this more beefier composition, they have to all be on the same page. Great start for YSL.
Yeah, and YSL going to have a beat ready to go this fight. I mean, that's going to be huge for them just to sustain through Bonzi if they get very aggressive, especially with Zama about to have the pulse bomb.
And now you see Suguru going to make the swap over to the Sojin, just going to give up on that Genji. It's a nice punch coming in from Zebra, but it's not able to find any kills.
And Azrael going to be able to find Zomba there. Sugu needs to make a name for this stuff here on this Soldier again, because now Azrael starting to take over it for the series. Mateball going to be able to find Zebra there, and you just see the rest of Bonzi trying to get out, but Azrael gets shut down by Suguru there. Magic Mateball, though, will make sure they get the trade.
Yeah, it's not going to really matter. Azraf's going to be able to come back into this fight pretty quickly, as both teams are going to have an extraordinary amount of ultimates coming into this fight. But because YSL has just been biding their time, being patient and defensive, Azraf is kind of behind in the overclock ult charge.
Casino Rush comes out here from Otters, but Z uses that Ant Matrix to perfection. It kind of stops Bonzi in their place. Meteor Strike coming out here from Zebra, probably onto that backline, trying to disrupt it. Magic get him pop the beat. Here comes the Terror Surge from Infected, not going to be able to find anyone. Does force out the beat from Kai. Now the Blizzard coming out here from Wallflower. Does freeze Sugu there. Make sure they get off the map. Zomba, they'll get a trade out Azrael there, so no Soldiers for either team at the moment. Zebra diving into that backline, has to get themselves out with a punch. The Suzu already being used here by Otters. Now you might see YSL get a little bit aggressive here, but they're just going to hold back play point. Zomba trying to focus down Magic Mateball. They're going to be able to find Z-Man, though, as Mateball fell right before them here. Again, this might be a fight here where YSL's not going to win it. They're just trying to hold on.
Yeah, as you're just trying to buy as much percentage as you can, because you get it into a spot where all you have to do is win one more fight, and you will be forcing a map number 7. So he's got to bide your time, be patient, build up to some of these ultimates. Azrael will be coming up on the overclock. Try and force out this overclock from Sugu. Like, if you get aggressive, be on point, and force it out, even if you lose the fight, I think it's going to be a good spot if you're YSL.
And Sugu, they have the overclock ready to go. We've seen what they've been able to do with them in the past. This is another time here where they need to just find a lot of value with it, but they're already being forced to slide back.
Yeah, so much pressure being put on them, but the heals are coming through, as it looks like YSL is trying to rotate towards them and find it, but Zebra's trying not to allow them to do that.
Overclock comes out here from Sugu. Kai finds Wall. Sugu finds 2 with the overclock. Make it 3. This is exactly what they need to do here. Make it 4. They have put their name back on the map with that play right there.
And this is kind of the situation you wanted for YSL. Be patient, force out ultimates from Bonzi, and don't use any. They're able to force out both the overclock and the Kitsune rush there. So they put themselves in a good spot as they're getting really close to a lot of these ultimates, and they'll be able to use them to try and net them a map win.
And right now, though, this is kind of getting desperate, in my opinion, right now. If you let Bonzi here win another team fight, it might be hard for them to get anything going. Terror Surge coming out here, going to be paired with the overclock from Azra here, but they're just playing for point set. Pulse Bomb comes out here for Zomba, not going to find anyone. They have to recall themselves to keep themselves alive. Zebra dives in. Azra takes care of Zomba there. Now the Meteor Strike coming out there from Zebra, but the point flips. Wallflower finds Kai. Zebra that will find Matefall. Azra finds Otters. Someone needs to dive back in fast, but a huge play there by Infected. And Zebra, though, able to get one touch to keep alive. They get taken out, though, but I don't think anyone will be able to get back. And YSL has done it. They forced a map 7.
Woo, what a series coming out from both of these teams. This is what we thought we would get out of the NAPC Open Tier Grand Finals. Both of us predicted a 4-3, and we are going to get exactly that, as YSL was on the brink of elimination, down 3-1, and now has clawed and fought their way back, and now we are tied 3-3, headed into map number 7.
And remember what I said after Saravasa. YSL, I think they just needed to have one map win, build up that momentum, and I felt like we would see a completely different team. And I feel like since then, they have been that completely different team. They've looked completely different than what we saw in those first 2 maps. Bonzi, though, they've kind of looked the same throughout. There's nothing wrong with how they've been playing. They've been playing great, but YSL has turned it up to another level here. And Bonzi, they've been able to respond sometimes, but when it gets very, very close in these scrappy fights, like we saw at the end of point 1 and point 3 there on Lijiang, YSL is just able to pull it out.
Yeah, so we are now all coming down to one final map. It is 3-3. YSL has found their way back into the series. Who is going to be the grand champions of the NAPC Open tier? You are not going to want to miss the conclusion of this series. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
One map to decide it all here in the NA PC Open tier. YSL has been able to come back and force a map 7. Ray, we both thought would go 7. I don't think neither of us expected we'd be going to a map 7 the way we have.
Yeah, both teams have fought so hard. Every map has come down to the wire. The final map pick goes for Bonzi buddies, and it all comes down to New Body. And I think it's poetic, given that they have loved to play this Doomfist composition, to finish off on a hybrid map that is all about the dive.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when I heard that we were when I saw that we were going into a hybrid map, I honestly just assumed, okay, we're gonna be going to King's Row, but no. Once they picked Numbani, it all came to me. This makes perfect sense for them. Zebra has not gone off the Doomfist once. This is the perfect map for them. YSL though, they've shown us 3 times they can beat it. They need to do it one more time though.
That they do, as we load up into the final map, the final location that will decide who is going to be the NAPC Open tier champs. Will the momentum that we have seen built up from YSL over the past 2 maps come through strong, or will Bonzi finally get it together and say, we've had enough, we're going to be the champs? We're about to find out soon, as we see both teams locking in the comps we've known them so well for. YSL the Sigma, Bonzi the Doom.
We're not going to talk about Suguru, I imagine.
No. I think they're going to see if anyone's playing close to take a shot, and yet. Oh, they're going to go over to the Hanzo, though. I'm excited for this. YSL's going to have to be careful. Hanzo provides that ability to just snipe your head and have that one-shot potential.
Yeah, and I truly don't think that YSL is going to really expect this. So they're not going to know about it until they see Sugu come through. And again, Zebra just able to move around so freely on this Doomfist, able to get up there, get a punch, and now, again, just playing point. You do see, I believe it's Wallflower come down there to contest, but again, they just dive up there, get some damage, and then dive right back down.
As point pressure in the favor of Bonzi, they're going to attack the high ground now. Can they look to find picks, as they have yet to give up the tick, which is actually surprising. I thought they would have, given up the tick to elect to have really good positioning.
But you have to give a lot of credit to Wallflower for the reason that the tick has not been capped yet. And Azra finding Zebra there, and look at what that does to Bonzi. They completely have to fall back, knowing their main source of pressure is out.
Yeah, this is where things are tough for Zebra on the Doomfist. Having to try and dislodge some of the people off the high ground, especially when you could be running into Infected, who has the Accretion Rock available. I think a lot could rely on Suguru trying to find a pick-off early in this fight and set into a 5v on this point.
And exactly, you talked about it there, Sugu finding Wallflower out. Otters will immediately turn that into a kill on Azraf as well. And now Bonzi maybe already looking like they want to cap this point here and now. 1 tick already, but you see Infected far away from the rest of their team. Eventually going to have to come down and contest.
Yeah, as it's going to force the Kinetic Grasp out, and the Antidote comes out, and the Lamp's not able to save him.
The Amp Matrix being invested here by Z. They will find Zebra, but they need to find some more Pulse Bomb coming out there from Wallflower. We're not finding anyone, as I think it's stuck on a Kai's shield there, but they're doing a good job of just contesting the point at this point right now. Rally does come out here from Kai, and that will eventually get them the point cap, but I feel like they are just kind of stalling out there, waiting for Infected to come back, but it comes back to bite them.
Yeah, and you only force Bonzi to use one of their ultimates, so not the best kind of recontest there that you took from YSL. They did waste a lot of time off the clock, but now the momentum's building for Bonzi. They should be able to take the ultimates. The one good thing is, because you're on the Hanzo for Sugu, the Dragons, it's not as valuable as, say, like an Overclock, right, where you can find pick after pick. It's more of a zoning ult for these Dragons. Well, I say that, they get a pick.
Yeah, with those Dragons, and now, again, you're just seeing Bonzi here force back YSL.
Yeah, I mean, you can't afford to push into that fight in a 4v5, so YSL's just looking to play back. Look for something, another nano engage.
They do find Z-Man there while Magic Maypal is off doing his own mission. Very confused on what's going on here as the rest of YSL is just falling by the hands of Bonzi.
Yeah, as you're going to just have to completely reset. You're only going to get one more attempt at this defense for point B if you're YSL. You're going to have a lot of ultimates to commit into this fight as Bonzi has had to use a lot to gain a lot of this distance.
Yeah, but yeah, like you said, they have ultimates here. You're going to see the touch come out here from Wallflower just to try to contest it. YSL going to re-engage. They need to win a fight here. Get rid of Zebra early. Get rid of Sugu. The rally coming out here from Magic Maypal.
Oh, the C9!
Coming out here from Zebra. Oh, no. Oh, Wallflower gets the kill. They're on the Kai, but like you said, Ray, they C9.
They had the ultimates to keep holding that too. That is such an unfortunate miscommunication coming out from YSL. Now Bonzi looking to capitalize, pushing aggressively around this corner is Zebra.
And I like to talk about mistakes, how they change games, they change series. That one mistake right there might be a championship losing mistake, but YSL, they've been able to hold and stop Bonzi before. They need to do it again here. Pulse Bomb comes out, whiffs on Z, who jumped up in the air, but Azruff, they want to make sure that they are able to turn a fight around, find one. Wallflower will find Otters there, but the railgun shots is doing a lot of damage. They should be able to pick up at least one more kill here.
Yeah, I think that's Kai that's trapped in that room, but they're not willing to commit, especially with the closer spawns. Sugu over onto the Genji now off of that Hanzo, so it's a lot more danger to this dive for YSL, but sorry, the screen was totally paused for me. It's a lot more dangerous, especially with this nano that Otters is going to be able to throw in. You can try and help one of these DPS build up to an ultimate.
Great shield there by Infected to make sure the anti-nade does not hit anyone on them. And that does slow Bonzi here a little bit down, but they do have the nano and the rally ready to go here. YSL, they're doing a good job of eating away some clock here, but the nano now come out onto Zebra. They immediately find Z in the backline and Azruff as well. Oh, it's just a slaughter at this point. Pulse Bomb comes out from Wallflower, does not find anyone there. Infected eventually gets taken out, and now, again, it's just Wallflower trying to eat away some clock.
Yeah, being able to get both the nano and the rally out of Bonzi is going to be a big deal for YSL. However, they used a lot of ultimates in that fight. Z-Man will be able to come back with this Ant Matrix to be able to use, so that's going to be a danger that Bonzi has to be aware of and ready to at least get out of dodge once that pops up.
Yeah, but right now, I mean, you're seeing them be very aggressive. And honestly, with Zomba doing that play right there, you're really looking for Z to maybe throw out that Immortality Field, expecting the Pulse Bomb, but does not come out. But Bonzi still holding on to 3 ultimates right now. Z still the only one with an ultimate right here for YSL, but they do find Zebra out early. A huge pickoff for them there. We saw what happened last time they lost Zebra. Bonzi completely fell back, and looks like that's the same plan this time.
2 minutes left on the clock for YSL to try and defend. They have definitely found their footing on this defense. The question is, can they continue to snowball? Bonzi is going to have so many key ultimates coming into this next fight, but YSL has the tools. They pop the rally early enough, get this overhealth. Z-Man holds on to the Immortality Field long enough. I think they can negate this blade from Sugu. And we saw recently, earlier in the series, a lot of value found out of these blades, but since Shambali, the blades have not been as effective.
Yeah, absolutely. And they might be waiting for the nano from Otters. That's when they found a lot of value. Azruff with a nice railgun shot. Make sure the Pulse Bomb will not be invested this fight. So it's going to be held onto here for a little bit longer. And look what that does to Bonzi. They decide just to fall back. The Pulse Bomb is their entry tool.
That it is. But they are going to be able to engage in this next fight with the Nano Blade. Lots of ultimates coming on for both of these teams as we approach the final minute on this attack for Bonzi.
About to be 9 ultimates on the board, could be 10. This could be every ultimate thrown at the kitchen sink here coming up, with it being the time running low. You do see the dive come in, the Nano Blade coming out here from Suguru, Rally coming out here from Magic Maypal. Suguru will find one, the Pulse Bomb, or the stun there coming out from Magic Maypal to make sure they don't die there. Suguru, though very low on health. Kai will find Infected as everyone was in the back just trying to keep themselves alive. Bonzi with a huge opportunity here. They're gonna be able to do it, I think. I don't think they're gonna allow YSL come back.
No, the amount of pressure they're able to put onto the side of YSL was absolutely insane. Into that room, Bonzi clutches up in the time when they needed to in that final fight, and they're able to cap with time on the clock, which puts a lot of pressure onto the backs of YSL. The only good thing you have going forward is because they didn't finish with over a minute on the clock. If you're YSL, you just have to make sure you finish this map. But the line is now drawn in the sand for Bonzi. You want to walk out of here, the NAPC Open Tier champs, you stop YSL from completing this map. YSL, it's not so clear yet. You just know you have to finish this map, and then we're heading into extras.
And there's one thing that you have to really consider here. 22 seconds. YSL was looking like they were going to be able to win that team fight where the C9 happened. I think that's the difference at the moment. That 22 seconds, yeah, you know, different stuff will happen based off different things happening. But I mean, that they would have won that team fight there. It would have taken Bonzi to come back, at least 30 seconds to come back in. So that right now is the main difference. YSL though, I feel like they looked good after they let that C9 happen, but still they allowed Bonzi to finish the map.
Yeah, one has to think what might have changed if YSL was able to keep that touch on point B. As we now move into the defense for Bonzi, we have Sugu, who's going to go over to this Echo. And I think the defensive Echo is going to be extremely powerful, especially going against this more slower comp that YSL. I mean, not slower, like more chunkier composition, being able to have that focusing beam to finish these targets off as YSL's going to try and go to the high ground and take this away.
Yeah, but Sugu does not have the mercy to pocket him this time, but it doesn't matter as they find Z out early, and YSL going to have to fall back on that, and they're not going to engage without their BAP.
Yeah, with the Life Weaver on a combination from Bonzi, I mean, it's going to be a lot of heals available, and because of the amount of heals that Kai can throw in, because you're playing Life Weaver, it's going to allow Otters to look for extremely aggressive nades. You're not going to have to save them to use for healing on your team.
The nade comes out, does hit two people there. You do see the pressure coming out, but they're able to survive the nade, and now this is their opportunity to go. You do see the life grabs there. It gets Otters out of that area. The ice wall comes to make sure they can't get enough healing there, but again, Sugu going to be able to get rid of the immortality field for Z right now, and YSL, they're trying to play for point, but right now they're trying to find an early pick to give them some advantage. Sugu going to be able just to get that health pack there, and Zamba takes care of Z again. YSL, though, committed to this fight already. They're going to have to commit to it again without either of their supports here. Wildflower will find Zamba, but that might be all that they get this fight.
Yeah, as things are looking rough. They're not able to easily take this high ground. Bonzi's playing so well, having Otters play the corner, look for anti-nades constantly, and as soon as the anti-nade goes off, Zebra's in there punching. And if they're even able to push through like they were in that last fight, Suguru is there with the sticky bombs and just laying down so much damage. Infected now going to go over to the Orisa, but is this going to be enough as Azrif goes down?
That is not what you wanted to see. And one thing, Azruf, they have been doing so well for their team their past couple maps. They're only at 36% on their ultimate charge. They have been completely shut down so far this round.
That they have 2 minutes left on the clock for YSL to cap this point and keep their hopes alive of being the grand final champions. You're going to be walking into a lot of ultimates from Bonzi. Pulse Bomb forces out the immortality field.
YSL, they need to get something going here. The Amich is going to come out here, but a huge anti-nade hits 4-2 already taken out. It's the supports and the kills just all going their way. Infected will get one, but that's going to be all they got that round. And at this point, YSL, they need to go a different way.
I don't know, Dexatron. It really feels like fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. They're falling for this Otters on a nade trap every single time. Like you mentioned, you gotta either, find a way to limit the value or go a different way, but they're gonna continue to take this high ground approach.
What is it when you do it 5 times in a row here? They need to have something go their way this time. The anti-nade only hits infected, so they're going to be able to survive that a little bit here. But Zamba going to do a good job just pressuring out the backline. The meteor strike coming out here from Zebra, who is Nano, will not find any value there. The beat coming out from Magic Mayfall, as this is the fight that YSL desperately needs. They do find Zamba to get everything going here. Zebra, though, will find Azraf in the backline. The Blizzard coming out there from Wildflower. Infected does shut down Otter, so it's up to Kai to keep their team supported right now, but they do use a Tree of Life to make sure that point is secure for the moment. YSL, again, they need to get something going here, but a huge punch sends Z flying off the map, and now Bonzi looking like they want to take control of the map, take control of the series, and take control of the championship.
Yeah, 20 seconds left on the clock. You're going to have to back out of here if you're Wallflower, but you're not able to, as this might just be it. Infected now onto a desperation Doomfist. Magic 8 Ball should be able to get to the touch, but it is looking grim for YSL.
They don't get the touch. They don't get the touch. And Azraf dies as well. Bonzi buddies gonna deny YSL the comeback they were so close to and be your NAPC Open tier champions.
Woo! Bonzi. They hung in there, weathered the storm, and when the rubber needed to meet the road, they come through big time on the map pick, and I think that's what it came down to. I said at the beginning of the series, because of these contrasting compositions that these two teams were playing, that this could come down to map picks. And Bonzi had the last map pick. They're able to take it to Numbani. Very favorable for the Doomfist, and they're able to take full advantage, and they are your NAPC Open Tier Grand Champions.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking it to Numbani was the ultimate pick there from them. Like I said, I thought we would see King's Row because we saw Lijiang Tower, but no, they brought us to Numbani, and they played the comp. They played throughout the series. I mean, YSL, you looked at the maps here. Cervas was a huge map for them. Then they lose Esperanza, and their backs are against the wall. And like I was kind of mentioning throughout this entire series, when YSL was against the wall, they really did play a lot differently. And we finally saw, in my opinion, Bonzi buddies against the wall there on Numbani, and we saw a completely different team, and they just looked incredible. You have to give a lot of credit to the 5 players for them here: Sugu, Zamba, Zebra, Kai, and Otters. They did incredible throughout the series tonight.
Couldn't agree with you more. So congratulations, Bonzi. They are your NAPC Open Tier champions. They weathered the storm and played incredibly well. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have an interview with Zomba from Bonzi Buddies. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the booth. We are pleased to have Zomba, the DPS player there from Bonzi Buddies, as our interview for this tonight. Zomba, hey, congrats on the win, man! Hell of a series. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Couldn't have done it without otters.
Yeah, that final map otters was absolutely insane. I'm sitting here like it felt like fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Like, what are they doing? Continuing to fall for this nade time and time again. But focusing a little bit more on the series in general. I mean, you guys were up 3-1, and this ends up going the full distance to 7 maps. How are you guys feeling going into this final map with all the momentum that YSL had built up?
I don't know. We weren't like that nervous. We just wanted to close it out. It was just another day. But their momentum was definitely scary but we knew we could definitely win because the maps were close.
Yeah, I felt like every map came down to the wire, and I think that was just a beautiful, well-picked final map. That Doomfist composition you guys were playing just boded so well to Noombani so well. Just talking more about this Doomfist composition, what made you guys really zoom in on this kind of composition and just be like, you know what? I don't care what map it is. We may change up, slight variations to it, but we will run Doomfist.
Well, I mean, it mainly just comes down to Zebra. He's our Doom one-trick gimmick player. So we just play around him.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You already gave a quick shout out to Otters, but is there anyone else that you want to give a shout out to before we send you back to celebrate with your team?
I think I have to shout out Shugureru and Gorilla from Gilbert's family. They were truly inspirational, especially Gorilla. He was our team mascot.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Zomba, for joining us on the desk, and congratulations on being the NAPC Open Tier Grand Champions, and we'll see you later. Go celebrate with your team.
Thank you. See you guys.
All right, Ray, that was Zomba. They had an incredible performance throughout the night. You have to give YSL a lot of credit as well. They made it very interesting, but at the end of the day, one team had to come out on top, and it was Bonzi Buddies.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and give you guys one last look at the bracket and how things ended up going in our predictions. I mean, it was, slightly, pretty much in favor of YSL, but I mean, at least I was honest. I said 4-3 YSL. I mean, I knew that was going to go either way. You also had a 4-3, and pretty sure you went with YSL as well.
I did, and I feel so bad now that we cast a curse at them.
Oh man, it is what it is. I knew this was going to be a high octane, very close series, and that is exactly what we got as we take one final look at this amazing bracket. Most competitive, most teams in this division. So very surreal to be seeing the end of what was a awesome division.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this entire season has been crazy across every division, but NAPC Open Tier specifically. I mean, you look at the teams that are here, a lot of great teams, a lot of great players. And I feel like, though, at the end of the day, we got the best 2 teams in the grand finals, and it went the distance. I mean, it went the distance in the winners final. It's so hard to put into words, but this was such an incredible series, Ray.
Couldn't agree with you more. And before we go ahead and close things out here on the desk, I'd like to highlight we have 2 grand finals remaining for this season of CGL. Tomorrow, we will be having the NA Console Open Tier Grand Finals, Blue Team versus Short Bus. That will be tomorrow, Tuesday at 6 p.m. EST. And the final grand finals available will be the NA Diamond grand finals, Universe versus No Peel game. That will be Wednesday at 8 p.m. EST. So make sure you guys tune into all of that. But as we get to close things out, I'd like to thank Dexatron for casting with me and everyone behind the scenes who was helping produce. We had Hippie, our amazing producer. We had Khazix. We had Mara and Little Joe and Pluto, all providing you the amazing observing we saw from this series. And I'd like to thank all of you guys. We had such a lively, amazing Twitch chat, and you guys were just so engaged and so enthralled in the series. But with that, I've been 2TryHardRay, joined by Dexatron, and we'll see you on another broadcast.